Charlie was poisoned.
No other family should go through this. It's just horrific.
Go to safe.pharmacy. Use the free tool. Learn if the online pharmacy you're using is safe.
Winter is in full swing, and Aleve is here to keep you moving. When the cold weather sets in, everyday aches and pains can linger. But Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you going with long-lasting body pain relief to get you through whatever the season brings. Chilly days or cozy nights, Aleve gives you that long-lasting body pain relief you can count on this winter. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Our highs are in the mid-60s, which is not something that we see that often this time of year. Hopefully you can enjoy this beautiful, sunny, warmer afternoon. Overnight lows are mild with a low of 50, and then tomorrow will be mostly cloudy. We have a chance of showers in the afternoon and a high of 63.
Weather update brought to you by Blue Shark Vodka, the world's smoothest vodka. Pour Blue Shark Vodka at all your events to lift everyone's spirits. Blue Shark Vodka, the shark that doesn't bite. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 121 points to 50,257. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
Abel taps the ball, top of the arc, and steals it. Right to left, bounces lane. Copeland, hammer time on the break. 8 minutes till halftime. This is Williams' left wing. He wants the answer and drills right in front of the Louisville bench. It throws it right. Williams drives in on Hadley. Step back, deep three, right side, rattles it down. Rogers walks it over the center line. Mess of a ball game here in Louisville. Second most points ever scored against the Pack in history. 118-77 the final.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Tuesday, everybody. To some, maybe a better Tuesday than others. NC State probably licking their wounds a little bit. The Olympics continue. The Olympic break continues in the NHL. And we are in the thick of things in the college basketball world. And that is just about where myself and Dennis Cox, who's producing the show, will start the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
NC State got smoked last night. I mean, just straight up and down. No, you could give context, but it was bad.
As you heard Matt Chasnow in the Open say, the second most points ever allowed by NC State basketball, ever.
There was a stretch there at the end where it seemed like every bucket was getting that Louisville or a Louisville player or NC State opponent. Like every bucket was either getting you closer to or setting some kind of record. There's the freshman record. There's the second most points allowed. There's this record. There's the school record. That's not where you want to be. That's like, having the back of your jersey on a poster, right? When the other team's having all these record-breaking performances against you. It's not what you want. 118 points allowed. Louisville shot the heck out of the ball. And on the other side, State, who is statistically coming in again, they're the best three-point shooting team in the ACC, could not hit the broad side of a barn. They could be standing on a yacht, couldn't hit the ocean. Michael Brown Jr. had himself a day. Took a bunch of shots, made a bunch of shots, 45 points scored. Ryan Conwell had the quietest 31 that you can have in college basketball because it wasn't the leading scorer by 14 points. He hit 5 of 6 threes. Everybody was like, yeah. What about the guy that made 10? Now, for every, this is how sports work, right? For every great offensive performance, there's somewhere a defensive coach that's frustrated. Here's Will Wade, the head coach of NC State, on what went wrong on the defensive side of the ball for the Wolfpack.
Everything. I mean, I don't know another word. I mean, we got whipped off the bounce. They beat us every way possible. We got torched. I mean, we gave up 76 points to 2 players. I don't know if I've ever seen that. So, we got torched and they picked at some matchups and we could just never get our footing. We got down 14-4 and could never get our footing in the game. So, just got hammered.
Yeah. 76 to 2 players. You scored 77. This is one of those games, the further you look at the stats, the worse it's going to look. I will advocate for, and we're going to do this at about 3:15, I think this is a burn-the-tape game. I don't even know if you spend a ton of time, maybe a clip or two. I don't even know if you spend a ton of time trying to learn from it. You just go, that was weird, and move on. Try act like that happened in the Twilight Zone, right? That was international waters. It doesn't really count. Treat it like the NBA treats the play-in games, where it doesn't count towards your regular season statistics or your playoff statistics. It's just in some weird purgatory. Go, that game was weird. Move on. Not saying it wasn't bad, but saying it was that bad. About 10 minutes from now, we'll dive into that one. And there's a lot of meat there on the bone. Let's jump into number 2.
Number 2.
The Olympics. Going on as we speak. The women's hockey is going on here. As I wait for the score. There we go. 2-0 USA over Canada as the second period gets started. That's a lovely little lead.
Yeah, it is.
For Team USA.
Let's build on this.
Yeah, keep the pedal down.
Let's go.
This obviously the behemoths in the women's hockey world, USA and Canada, and also anytime we can get Canada on the ice in any kind and we can win, that is huge. Still a lot of hockey left to be played. You know what they say about 2-goal leads, but it is a good start as the second period gets rolling here for the women's hockey team. And with that, it is now time for the Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy. I have the updated medal count right here in front of me for the Winter Games from the other side of the world. Norway and the host country Italy are currently tied at the top in total medals with 11 each, and the United States has moved into a tie for third with Japan in total medals. 11 for Norway and Italy, 7 for the United States and Japan. However, Norway is bullying in the gold medal bracket. They have 6 gold medals, 1 silver, 4 bronze to reach their 11 total. Italy, who is tied with the 11 total medals, 2 gold, 2 silver, 7 bronze. The United States and Japan, both with, I say just, as if it's not really impressive, just 2 gold. The United States owns the tiebreaker by way of having 1 more silver, 3-2. And then flip that for the bronze. Other teams that are making some progress here, Sweden, Germany, Switzerland, all with 3 gold medals, which is actually the second highest total. But in total medals, they have 6, 6, and 5. So that is a Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy, and we'll keep you updated as hopefully, I almost said the home country, our home country continues to pile on the medals. And there's some today that you're going to expect the United States to be in the mix for. That is actually any other. I know you were watching some curling, or you were talking about some curling.
Yes, there's I haven't watched the match, but I know there was a gold medal match for mixed curling today. The United States was in it, so I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But also, one of the fun things I watched yesterday was in the 1,000 meter women's speed skating, and there was a woman for the Netherlands that broke the Olympic, broke the Winter Games record, right? Broke the record for the Winter Games. And then 3 runs later, her fellow countrywoman broke her own record and won the gold. So imagine that. You skate the fastest time in the winter games, and you're like, man, I've got first place. I'm sitting there at the top just for someone to beat your own record. You held the record for literally like 10 minutes.
Do you know what's probably the
kind of wild,
harrowing part of that story? Is I bet the woman that broke the record first had a good idea the next one was coming, but nobody else did, right? Because she knows her teammate pretty well. She knows what's possible there. She knows who's winning in practice. And everybody else was probably celebrating her, like, look at that. And she's going, I know. She was like the only one that knew the impending, she's going to get it right back. Either way, it's really cool. Anytime you can put the country, the colors, the logo, the name on your chest means a lot. And these athletes are out there laying it on the line. That is number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
We have some college basketball tonight. We'll start with the victors from over the weekend. Number 11, by the way, UNC up to 11 now. Number 11, North Carolina Tar Heels at Miami tonight at 7 p.m. This is the least hidden letdown game in a long time. UNC opened as underdogs. UNC just beat the number 1 team in the net ranking, right? They just beat Duke. It was the big deal. It was the Seth Trimble shot, the Seth Trimble game. Everybody's watching. Everyone's giving them credit. And they opened as underdogs at Miami. And I don't think – Miami, by the way, has not won a whole bunch of games against really good teams. Like UNC would be a big pelt for them to acquire. I think they were opening as underdogs on the pure they're going to be emotionally exhausted. Oh, I bet they spent some time on Franklin Street between Saturday and today. I bet you, Seth Trimble was treating them to the ice cream. ESPN matchup predictor has Miami as a 53% to win. Now, obviously, I say they open as underdogs. You can probably guess that means that it has flipped since then. And UNC, last I checked, is a 1.5-point favorite. But, it's almost like this is so out in the open that it shouldn't be a letdown game. It's like when everybody says that a draft prospect is a sleeper, and it's like, well, if everyone is saying he's a sleeper, I think we woke up. I think we all know that player is good. A sleeper is one that everybody doesn't know about. Everyone is saying this is a trap game. The sports books are saying it's a trap game. ESPN matchup predictors saying it's a trap game. Analysts are saying it's a trap game. Everybody is saying this is a trap game for UNC. I think that makes it not a trap game. I think UNC should be over the top with their energy because they know that the cliche is to not bring the energy as they play at 7 o'clock tonight in Miami. And also, you still got Caleb Wilson. And he's supposedly your energy guy. Everybody says he's the tone setter. Go ahead and set the tone. Big dunk early, who knows? Maybe Miami will roll over. And also tonight, a little bit later on, also on the road, number 4 Duke at Pitt. I always say coaching is easier after a loss. Actually, do you agree with that, Dennis? You've done some college coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I'd say sometimes it is because the things that you are emphasizing in practice that there may not be taken serious, it hits harder. Hey, I told you it was going to get you. I always told you it was going to get you.
I always just think you have everyone's attention more after a loss, right? After a win, you got to get everyone's attention. After a loss, everybody's seeking it out. So obviously Duke is going to be angry. I assume this is going to, at least they're going to emphasize this being a leave no doubt game after North Carolina, right? With the, almost think of it like this way. Don't leave it in the hands of the ref, or don't make it so, a streak of hot shooting at the end can catch you. They're going to try to slam the door on Pitt. No disrespect to Pitt. They are 123rd in the net rankings. This is the worst team that Duke will play the remainder of their schedule, and barring, catching a conference champion who's way low in the NCAA tournament, this will probably be the lowest team they face for the rest of the entire season. Leading scorer has 12.5 points. I do like Cameron Corrin. He's a good player at almost 7 feet tall for them. Puts up 12 and 7, but there's not a Caleb Wilson or a Henry Vasar on Pitt's roster. So I imagine an angry Duke's going to try to take care of business, and, it could get away early.
I feel bad for Pitt today. Because they're going to catch it.
I don't know.
They're going to catch it.
I don't know.
I think they are.
I don't know if I've told this story on air. This is we joke about it now, but it was not funny in our family. When we were living in Hawaii growing up, our house was actually pretty far from school. So after practice one day, my dad was picking me up, and I don't know why we did it, but we called my mom and my brother who were at home to say, like, hey, we're on our way, just got picked up. And for whatever reason, I asked, what's for dinner? And my mom, who had been doing a bunch of stuff and, right, like keeping the house in order and running nonstop, that kind of hit her the wrong way, right? She was, now you're just going to, you just expect to walk in and get in, rightfully so. Like, I didn't, do a ton at that point in my life. But when we walked in, me and my dad, because we just asked and, there's, I don't know, and hung up. So we, talked the rest of the way home. When we walked in, my brother was vacuuming the living room, and he looked at us like, what did you say to her on the phone? And it was very obvious that, she had gotten mad at me, and then my brother had to do the chores, and she had almost, like, calmed down because it's like an hour drive by the time we got back. I feel like Pitt is going to be like, UNC, what did you say to Duke before when you were on the phone on Saturday? And they're going to be the ones that have to, like, vacuum and do all the chores while Duke calms themselves down. We'll see how it goes. And Mom, if you're listening and you didn't want that story told, I apologize. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. She does listen a lot. Hi, Mom. That is the Big Three at 3 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Who probably, kind of wishes they could just do some vacuuming, right? Clean a couple rooms and get everybody to relax. NC State, because they got smoked last night. I'll tell you why they should burn the tape and move on. Next. It's Heart Health Month. I'm Tim Donnelly here with Dr. Parikh from WakeMed Heart and Vascular. Doctor, can you take us through what exactly heart failure is and how common it is?
I think of myself more as a heart function doctor rather than a heart failure doctor. But heart failure, it can sound scary. It doesn't mean your heart is about to stop. It's a pumping problem. And so a heart can either be stiff and not fill properly, or it can be weaker and not pump properly. And really your body is not getting as much blood as it needs from the heart. It is somewhat common. So after age 40, 1 in 5 Americans will have heart failure at some point in their life. There's over 6 million people living with it in this country today. You really want to talk to your doctor about whether you're at risk for heart failure and if you should start screening for it, and really try to follow a heart-healthy lifestyle so you can prevent it from happening in the first place.
If you have any questions, you want to learn more about heart health, go to wakemed.org.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or price stopped, opt out.
Mom, can we do pizza night tonight?
Not this week, sweetie. Payday's not until Friday.
Hey, we don't have to wait. We qualified for up to $750 before payday with Current.
$750? Before payday?
Yep, we set up an eligible payroll deposit and qualified for in advance. No hassle, no credit checks. And with their sign-up bonus, we got an extra $75.
Pizza night!
Need money before payday? Current has you covered with up to $750 in paycheck advances when you set up an eligible payroll deposit. And right now, get a $75 sign-up bonus. Current, the banking app that gives you more for your paycheck. Text SPEND to 323232. That's SPEND to 323232.
Paycheck advances offered by FindCo Advance LLC, a financial technology company, not an FDIC-insured bank. Eligibility and available amounts may vary and are subject to change at any time. For full terms and conditions, visit current.com/radio or call 1-888-851-3177 for more information.
Oakland down low. Lubin catches, stops, and he's fouled by Hadler.
Yep, ball screen right there.
Mac's actually going to finish with a decent number of points. The defense has been the issue.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. NC State basketball last night. Tough one. Tough one. One of those nights. I want to ask them like how their morning was. Like, was it one of those days where you jammed your finger in the car door? One of those, and I'm not talking about injuries. I'm just talking about like stubbed your toe, where you poured the cereal before you realized you didn't have any milk, where you know everything just kind of went wrong. You decided to break out the nice sneakers, and the first thing you do is accidentally walk in a puddle. Like, is it that kind of day? Because from the moment that game started, it felt like that kind of day. It felt like that, they were going to slip on a banana peel while getting back on defense. It was that kind of day. They lost by a billion. 118 points allowed, 77 points scored. Two guys, Conwell and Michael Brown Jr., combined for 76 points. That's not how things normally go for this NC State team. And they had been turning over a completely new leaf. But then you run into days like this. And I don't advocate for this often. I think it is very much a emergency situations only thing. I think you burn the tape. I don't even know if you watch it. Right? This season is going to crank along. You're going to play another game soon enough. I don't know if you want to relive that. I don't know if you want that to hit your confidence level, because it won't boost it watching that one over and over again. And I know Will Wade is the tough love guy, and we've heard it, and he's been aggressive. But I think he also kind of gets the pulse, and I assume that locker room was as down as you could possibly be. There's no worse place in the world than a locker room after a loss like that. And then there is an element of, I don't want to say it like this is what caused it, but there is an element of that's just bad luck. The best three-point shooting team in the ACC. Okay, and by the way, we're into the season now where it's not like, you had one game where you went 10 of 12 and, it's game 5, and because of that, you still look like the best shooting team in the ACC. We're into it now. We're in February. They were the best three-point shooting team, to be specific, team in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and NC State shot 18% from three yesterday. 1-8. And on the same night that happens, the same night, you have a career, he's a freshman, so it's this year, but he came into the game shooting 27% from three, Mike Brown Jr. He went 10 of 16. That is wildly unlikely, and even more unlikely happening on the very same night, in addition to Conwell, who's shooting, he is a good shooter and has been, but going 5 of 6, and Louisville as a whole shooting 60% from three, and Paul McNeil, who's been scoring for NC State. I wouldn't say he's the most consistent, but he got donutted, 0, goose-egged. There was a lot of, I don't think that's going to happen very often, happening at the very same time. Will Wade, again, head coach of State, did his best to explain why Michael Brown Jr. Did so well, especially compared to the shooting he's put on tape so far this year.
Michael clearly is a talent, but he had only been shooting 27% from three.
He hadn't seen our defense yet.
I mean, are you saying?
You can add him to Melvin Council from Kansas. He torched us, and he was shooting terribly. So I mean, we're good. We're good medicine if you can't shoot it.
I hear what he's saying, and that's Will Wade's way of handling things, and I respect the heck out of it. It's not every night, right? I guess you could. I don't think Michael Brown Jr. was getting like unbelievably wide open. You don't make 10, then they're all sitting there on a platter for you. Right? It's said more often in football. I think it should be said more often in basketball. Great offense beats great defense in a lot of ways. You can play, and I'm not saying they were, but you can play fundamentally sound, effort-filled defense, and the guy can just make shots. There were some wide open looks. There were some, the defense let him have that one. There also were just some good shots in rhythm, making it happen. And then, your defense allowing Brown to go bananas doesn't explain why your team, the best shooting three-point team in the ACC, shot 18%. So I do think this is one of those, you might even make a ceremony out of it. I'm sure I've told this story before, but in college, we had a game where this is how, it used to be so much easier, right? Back in the day, before my time, where film was on reels, and you could literally take the physical film and go bury it out on the practice field, and coaches would dramatically do that. But the funny part was, by the time I was in college, it was all stored digitally. So our coach actually did come out and he buried a DVD. He buried a DVD under 4 inches of dirt, and it couldn't even be on the practice field because it was turf. So it was 20 yards to the left of the practice field. We buried a DVD, and then you go into the facility, And guess what? If you searched for like third downs for our offense, that game was there because it was all already digitally uploaded. So they didn't delete it. But you dramatically, ceremonially dug a hole and put it down there and said, that's not us. I know that's not us. Now I could bring up every play, and I could, you get out the laser and point out this is what you did wrong, and this is what you did wrong, and this is what you did wrong, and you go one by one. And sure, you might learn a lesson or two, but I know y'all are gonna fix it already. I know that's not us. I'm not gonna let that bog down the vibe around here for another week. Will Wade, not using those exact same terms, but I do think it's the same kind of overall philosophy, told the media after the game it's just one game and the response is what really matters.
Unfortunately, I've had this experience before. This happened to me one other time at a previous job. They set the SEC record for threes on us. It was at home. What did they make tonight? 18. The other team, I think Alabama made, over 20 on us. We move forward from that. We're still an NCAA tournament team, won a lot of games, and we've got to find a way to be better on Saturday against Miami. It's not like the season ends tonight. It's one loss. It's an embarrassing loss. It's a terrible loss. It's poor, but it's one loss. It doesn't count. It's not like you get 3 losses for tonight. We probably should, but you don't. We can find a way to move forward, and I think we'll be judged on how we respond and how we move forward from here. And our team's been good with that all year, and hopefully we'll continue to do that.
That's a great line. You don't get 3 losses for this one. Probably should, but that's not how it works. So we're not going to ask for more. Which does lead me to the final point I'll make during this segment about that game. I emphasized going into that one that there was a 6-game stretch where State is going to kind of make or break how big of a contender they are going into the postseason, right? They've already put some hay in the barn as far as being a team that's going to make the NCAA tournament and is going to have certain intimidation factors, meaning they'll be a team that you don't want to play. But starting with Louisville, there was a 6-game stretch at Louisville, Miami, which is coming up on Saturday, Valentine's Day, versus North Carolina, which is now a top 11 team in the country, at number 15 Virginia, at Notre Dame, and then versus number 4 Duke. And that's a very important stretch. And losing the first game, like you were gonna, I didn't think they were gonna run the table on those 6. Right? So you got a loss out of the way. You have to regroup and play better. It's almost now the coaching cliche of you can't let one loss beat you twice. Right? You can't let whatever you got to do to put a wall up between that Louisville game and Miami on Saturday. You can't let that loss beat you twice. You can't be hesitant to shoot because he shot 18% last week. You can't be over closing out and thus giving up all the driving lanes because he gave up 60% three-point shooting last week. You can't let that loss beat you twice. I would play some mind games if I were the coach and bury some film, or light it on fire, or put it in the garbage disposal. However you want to do it, I would make sure everybody knows it's gone, it's flushed, and move on. Beat Miami, win 2 or 3 of your final 5 games, and you'll be A-okay. More than that, obviously, would be best. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. That's something, right? We just talked about, you make a bad decision, you have a bad game, you want to flush it. Not the exact same, but hear me out on this analogy. You sign up for a mortgage, and because of the timing, right, you can't choose what the market's doing. You have to get a rate that's a little bit higher than you want. Now, in traditional thinking, if rates drop in a month, if rates drop in 6 months, you might go, I'm actually stuck with that rate that I got because I don't want to pay all those closing costs and fees again and feel like I wasted all that money again. Miller Lending is going, no, flush it. Burn that rate. They're saying you can get a refi loan, right? Get another loan, no cost, no fees, no closing costs. Do it again. Flush it. Move on from that old rate. You draw a wall between that rate and you. Draw a wall between that old monthly payment and the new lower monthly payment that you want to end up paying. That's what you can do with Miller Lending and what they call a no closing cost loan. A no-cost loan. It says it right there in the name. So give them a call to learn more. It is quite simple. a 919 number, which, by the way, is actually here in the 919. That is a locally owned business. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We'll be back with the Dean's List coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards Thursday, February 12th through Sunday, February 15th. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands. On-site financing to get you approved and on the water. Boats in stock and price to move now. Test ride your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Carscott Building in Raleigh, Thursday, February 12th through Sunday, February 15th, featuring Suzuki outboards.
Trimble pushing the pace, gets deep, draws the foul, and gets the layup to go. Another three-point chance for the Hills.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, are you paying attention to this hockey game more than I am?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
3-0 USA. Let's go.
All right, and give us a pointer. What are we watching? Why are we up 3-0?
Why are we up 3-0? Let's be honest, we're just better.
Okay, there you go. Take that, Canada. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Also, Jacob Slavin is in attendance, right? He is obviously there representing the United States on the men's side, so he is there watching the women's hockey game against Canada. I think just him being in the building means like everybody is more fundamentally sound on defense.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why you're up 3-0.
There's like, Slavin's watching. Everybody, cover for your teammates. I'm kidding. The women's team is very good on their own right. They don't need Slavin. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There's a lot of really good in their own right also taking place on the Dean's List, so let's fire it up. All right, everybody. The Dean's List, where we pay a few extra accolades or give a few extra accolades to those directly or indirectly related to the college sports world we care about, we hold so near and dear here in the Triangle. First, UNC basketball. Tar Heels. They posted this on social media, and it's kind of one of those things that makes you go, huh? But also, it is like a little blue blood supremacy kind of thing happening here. For the first time since the 1981-82 season. Right, so you're going back a little pre-Jordan era, I believe. It's the first time since 81-82 that North Carolina has beaten Duke, Kansas, and Kentucky in the same season.
It's impressive.
There's, first of all, a lot of shades of blue.
There's a lot of that.
Carolina, Duke, Kansas, Kentucky. But also, if you hold like the supremacy, even if it's just, bragging rights for now, in that group of four, you're doing something right in a major, major way. Kansas got a huge win last night over Arizona without Darren Peterson. Duke only has 2 losses on the year. Kentucky spent a lot of money on their roster. There's different things that matter to different people. But Carolina's beaten them all this year. And it's the first time in the same season they've done that since 1982. More Dean's List. I don't know their name, but I'm putting an Alabama judge on the Dean's List. Alabama center Charles Bediako. His injunction, which had been temporarily granted in order to make him eligible to play for Alabama this season, has been denied by a judge in Alabama. Sources have confirmed to ESPN and thus corroborated a bunch of other places. He will no longer be eligible to play for Alabama as he has been for the last handful of games. Now, you may be saying, Tim, why are you celebrating a court not allowing a young adult to play for Alabama? Well, here's the thing. He's a professional basketball player. He's an NBA player. He played 2 years at Alabama. He declared to go pro. He wasn't drafted. Signed some G League contracts. Signed an NBA couple of contracts. He had a 2-way contract with the Spurs. Didn't play for the Spurs, but he was on the team. Warmed up with them. Sat on the bench. Watched the game. You can't. The only thing I'm concerned about for the future of college sports is eligibility rules. I don't care if players get paid. I hope they do. I don't care about the transfer portal. I know how I would want my people I root for to treat the transfer portal, but they should have the option to do whatever they want. I don't care that coaches get paid. I don't care how much they expand the CFP. I have my ideas on what's best, but all of that, it's window dressing. Eligibility, I think that's core. I think it's part of it. You need to have roster turnover. It needs to be for young people. It needs to be for people coming out of high school. This is a win-one for the good guys situation as far as keeping college sports special. This isn't necessarily college related, but Team USA just scored a goal.
That's right. On the rush. 4-0.
Women's ice hockey, U.S. now ahead 4-0 on Canada. Now this is still like whatever it is, like the early pool play, right?
Yeah. So, but this is the final pool play matchup for both countries. So United States, obviously winning this game, they will win the pool. They actually, I think they bypassed the quarterfinals straight to the semis.
So stakes, not the whole crazy stakes when, normally you see these teams together, there's medals on the line and things. But still, big stakes. Way to go so far. Still 6 minutes playing second period. Do you have any Dean's Listers you'd like to throw out there?
I would. I actually like to throw out the Duke Carolina. Averaged 2.63 million viewers on ESPN this past weekend.
That's big. And you know what?
Actually, I take that back. That's from an old story. I apologize. Never mind.
Okay.
I retract all of that.
I assume
that's an old number.
I assume we will get eventually the ratings, and they will be quite large. And the reason being, actually, you know what? Perhaps not as big as usual, simply because of the Olympics going on.
Actually, I'll throw college basketball as a whole, actually, on this. This is actually from Front Office Sports, actually, just a few days ago. So Front Office Sports says that college basketball seen a big boost in viewership this season. Networks are reporting increases of up to nearly 70% in viewership of college basketball.
I think this is another one of those deals where people yell and scream about not watching, but then they're actually watching. Oh, this transfer portal, this NIL, it's not what it once was. I'm not watching. But if I were to watch, when's the game and on what channel is the? I'm not watching, but I'd like to know, when does the pregame start? Yeah, a little performative there. That happens a lot in sports media across a bunch of different levels in sports. Last one here for the Dean's List, at least from my side of things. I am putting the Kansas Jayhawks non-Darren Peterson category. So Kansas, number 9 in the country, beat number 1 in the country, Arizona last night, 82-78. I believe Arizona was the last unbeaten, so
they were.
76 Indiana can chill. Darren Peterson was out for the game with flu-like symptoms. He did go out with the team for warm-ups, but decided couldn't go. He and whoever else is in that decision-making tree. He now hasn't played against Duke, UConn, and Arizona. He's missed 11 games, 9 with a hammy, 1 with an ankle, 1 with flu-like symptoms. I'm not accusing him of anything, right? Except for perhaps being very cautious. I wonder if this isn't a trend to worry about with top prospects. Where, if I'm 100%, no, I'm going to lay it all on the line. But if I get a little banged up, listen, I'm a projected number 1 overall pick. There's a lot of money on the line here. I can't be out there, compensating for an injury and exposing, because that's a lot of times where the bad injuries happen, right? You have a sore body part somewhere, so your running technique or your jumping technique changes a little bit, putting stress on a different, and there it goes. Because I think it's because this weekend I got such a stark contrast between hearing like Seth Trimble and somebody who could go out there for warm-ups and then is the number 1 player in the country, according to a lot of people, Darren Peterson, and not going for the game, even, trying to get his Jordan flu game on. Whereas Seth Trimble, it felt like he'd give whatever for Carolina Blue. And it's just like, oh, maybe this is a trend to be aware of. Which goes, last point I'll make here. When you're evaluating recruits, actually, again, Dennis, is a chance where your college coaching experience can help us out here. I imagine you have like some kind of a rating system in your like speed, 9 out of 10. I don't know what it is, like A, B, C, whatever your ratings are, just so you can kind of organize and compare recruits against each other. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking like maybe the most important, if you can judge it, is like loyalty and love of the game, like even more so than like leaping ability and shooting touch, because
I always wanted to see if your competition or your competitive level was just out of convenience as opposed to you just have it. Because oftentimes I would see players in games where their team was winning and they're doing everything you need to, but when things got a little bit tough, you could tell they backed off. I'm like, you're competitive when it's convenient, and that's not a player that you want to have.
Because like if you're, I don't know, if your individual goals, if the NBA is most important, then you have a boo-boo, you probably should sit out. If loyalty isn't in your DNA, you probably should hit the transfer portal after the first year and go chase the money. Like I don't know how you judge that kind of stuff, but it's wildly important. And that is the Dean's List here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We do have the podium coming up. Who gets the gold medal for the week that was? You can probably guess. When it comes to the 4 men's basketball teams from the state of North Carolina in the ACC. But the rest is still up for grabs. And before we even get there, Dennis has something else he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for my friends over at Law Tiger. Speaking of something that's up for grabs, this is up for grabs for anybody out there. The Law Tigers are teaming up once again with your Carolina Hurricanes to give one lucky Caniac a custom Canes Ducati motorcycle, courtesy of Art Moto Garage and Shiny Side Paint. Simple to enter. Go to caniacsbike.com. That's where you enter for your chance to win. Folks, it's gorgeous outside. It's in like the upper 60s. Imagine on a beautiful day like today, just rolling around on your motorcycle. I wish I was doing that. My motorcycle's still in storage. I got to go eventually grab it the way the weather's going. I can't wait to get outside on my motorcycle. But I know that each and every one of you out there has a chance to win this beautiful Ducati. And by the way, Art Moto Garage, located right here in Raleigh. Go check out the bike and see it for yourself. If you have some free time, go swing on over there. It's absolutely gorgeous. I can't win it. You can. Go to caniacsbike.com. Enter for your chance to win. The bike will be given away on April 4th on the ice, live at the game, and it includes tickets in the catered suite. caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with the podium coming up right after this.
Hi friends, this is Mark Ponce with Chapel Hill Tire, and I'm excited to share that our Bailiwick location in North Raleigh at the intersection of Strickland and Six Forks Roads is now open. From routine maintenance to major repairs, our experienced technicians focus on doing the work right and treating you fairly. You get the same trusted Chapel Hill Tire service you know, now closer to home. With 13 locations, there's always a Chapel Hill Tire nearby. Book your appointment at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Hey guys, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Bailey's Fine Jewelry makes it easy for you to find the perfect gift for the one you love. Bailey's has something for everyone and every budget. They have a huge selection of jewelry and gifts, highly sought after pieces from David Yurman, Ippolita, Lagos, and Bailey's collections, as well as an impressive array of diamond jewelry. Visit Bailey's in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, Greenville, and Charlotte, or at baileybox.com.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. People are looking around their homes right now and they're saying, I need this, I need this, I need this. You guys do everything for the exterior of your home. How do you keep it from being overwhelming for the homeowner?
Right, Adam. The first thing we do is we come out there, do an assessment with the homeowner. It's a no-obligation estimate, and we can break it up into phases of projects, or if you want to break it up into easy monthly payments, we come out there, give you a good plan. It's no pressure, no obligation, and whether it's windows, siding, doors, roofing, most of these projects we give you a lifetime warranty on for the rest of your time in the home. And then you can also break it up into easy monthly payments and make it manageable for your budget.
I love manageable. I love easy monthly payments. I love lifetime warranties. Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. These people are amazing. You should check them out online, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Have you listened to The Fall Off?
I have not yet, because I actually want to have time where I can sit down and just truly listen to it.
I just told my group chat, like, I don't want to hear any of your reviews. I want to listen to it start to finish. I need to be like, I don't know, doing a chore or something, throwing the headphones, and be able to give it a full listen. But I am wildly looking forward to it, and it's been highly anticipated for quite some time. By the way, if you don't know what we're talking about, it's J. Cole's new album.
Did you see what he was doing this past weekend?
I did. Driving around in
different parts of North Carolina, just signing CDs and autographs and just giving stuff out. He rolled through Chapel Hill and then was in Greensboro and all that. He was at my A&T's campus, and I was like, man, too bad I'm stuck inside the Dean Dome. Because otherwise, I would have run out there on Franklin or whatever he was.
I guess the idea behind it is when he first started, trying to be a musician, trying to be a hip hop artist, he would go sell CDs out of the trunk of his car.
Yeah.
And he would go to these places right before sporting events, wherever there's going to be a big group of people, and he would try to sell his CDs. So now that he's obviously super famous, super successful, he was like, let me get back to my roots. And he was driving around selling CDs and signing CDs. Not really selling them. I assume we're passing them out. But perhaps selling them. I don't know. But out of the trunk of his car, just like he did back in the day. I think it's really cool. I think he is a really unique thinker that kind of gets the big picture. And that's why I'm a fan.
Yeah, it's a double album. He said it's going to be his last. There might be some other projects that build off it, but I think his truly is going to be his last album.
He also has he's worked with and for and signed with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z's retired as well, only to decide to make another album not that long after. It just, mentor-mentee, maybe a little bit of deal going on there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of that came out in Chapel Hill. That's going to have an impact on this next segment because it's time for the podium. Podium, it's a 1-week award. Who gets the gold, who gets the silver, who gets the bronze, and who is off the podium amongst the 4 ACC men's basketball teams from the state of North Carolina. I think gold and off the podium were fairly easy, but I'll give them to you anyway. Starting with off the podium, Wake Forest. You know, I'm not saying this had any impact on what's going on here, but I'll give it to you this way. During football season, we had a lot of like, wow, Wake's been either gold or silver a lot recently. Look at Wake getting comfortable up there. Basketball season came around, and it's like, hopefully you enjoyed all that gold and silver during football season. They lost versus Louisville. Not a bad loss. Louisville's a good team. State's going, they're unbelievable. Did you see how well they shoot? Lost versus Louisville, 88-80. That's the only game that Wake played this week, so they're the only team from the Triangle that didn't get a win. And it just adds to a season of rough outings for Wake. I say this every week. I still think they're better than their record shows. I still think they have talent. They just aren't winning enough. So it makes you feel almost like you're not allowed to say that about them. But I'm still there. I'm still there. Bronze goes to NC State. And bronze and silver, I think, were close. State beat Virginia Tech 82-73, and then had, I don't even know what to describe, like just an absolute aberration of a horrendous game against Louisville last night. 118-77. 118 points allowed to 77. And there's a bunch of different ways you can emphasize this. Michael Brown Jr. for Louisville broke Cooper Flagg's record for most points by a freshman. 45 points. He went 10 of 16 from 3. He tied Wes Unseld for most points in Louisville program history. Think of all the greats Louisville's had. Wes Unseld, by the way, if any of you play Sporkle, he's up there on a lot of lists that you don't think of. Sporkle is a trivia game that you play online. You go look at like all-time leading rebounders or all-time leading triple-double, whatever. Just throw Wes Unseld's name in there. I promise you'll get more yeses than you think. It was, the second most points allowed by State in their history. It was just an insane amount of statistical anomalies that led to State being blown out of the water. 2 guys, Ryan Conwell and Michael Brown Jr. scored 77. State as a team scored 76. State as a team scored 77. I saw this one recently as well. State was outscored from the three-point line by 43. They lost by 41. So they won. They won in 2s.
See, there you go.
And if Pete Maravich was playing, you had a chance because they didn't have a three-point line back then. They're bronze, really just on the backs of that was such a hard loss to watch. Silver goes to Duke, who also 1-1. They beat Boston College 67-49. I don't think that was their best game, but the defense showed up. And then they lost at Carolina, who was 14 at the time, number 11 now in the country, 71-68. As I guess just a more explainable loss, which is why they end up ahead of State, right? The crazy part is losing, I guess with quads it's not the same, although at Louisville and at UNC are both just quad 1 games, right? So maybe they are kind of similar. The crazy part about team sports is you can lose 118-77 or you can lose 71-68 on what was essentially a buzzer beater. And both just one loss, right? Both just one loss. But I guess more acceptable would be the way to put a buzzer-beating loss against a top 15 team in the country compared to a blowout loss to a top 25 team in the country. I would give State actually the edge in the win. I think beating Virginia Tech's more impressive than beating Boston College. But I don't think either is really walking away from this week happy. And then gold. To the victor goes the spoils. UNC played 1 game, beat the number 1 team in the net rankings. Rivalry game, vibes game, Seth Trimble game, Caleb Wilson game. It was 71-68. You just heard me talking about it with Duke. That was a massive win for UNC. They play Miami tonight. They have to avoid the emotional letdown, the exhaustion that comes after a rivalry dramatic win like that. But assuming they take care of business against Miami and keep it rolling, this is just a gigantic win for UNC. And I'm sure, I haven't checked all the bracketology yet, although a lot of that is updated on Tuesdays. I assume they bumped up, on seed projections and everything. I think that was a really important win for UNC. Thus, they get the gold medal. Dennis, after the podium, we rounded out with the gold star every week. Who's rocking gold star?
Gold star?
Hold on, let me explain what it is. Didn't mean to cut you off. Sure. This goes to a group of 5, or for basketball, mid-major or lower division team from the state of North Carolina that also deserves some kudos. Mm-hmm. They get the gold star.
All right, this one goes to a team that went 2-0 this past week in the SoCon. UNC Greensboro, the Spartans, got a home win against Western Carolina, 81-78. They went on the road down to Furman, got a win on the road, 67-64.
My cousin Sarah went to UNCG. Shout out to Sarah.
Our good friend Chris Lee.
UNCG.
That's right.
A lot of good. And also some good basketball.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good basketball come through UNCG as well.
And this week. So congratulations on your gold star to University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Are they picky about what you call them? I know a lot of schools that have, the location, the Charlotte, right? They want to be Charlotte. They don't necessarily want to be UNC Charlotte. And
yeah.
Is Greensboro picky?
No, it's UNCG.
Okay, I want to make sure I'm
not UNC Greensboro.
Everybody.
Well, because there's a Greensboro College as well.
Yeah, there's.
So you don't want to confuse the two.
Those are the things that get a little tricky. I call them UNCG, so I guess I'm doing it the right way.
No, UNCG. That works.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the podium, which is extra appropriate this time of year with what's going on over there in Italy, which we will keep you updated on shortly after the top of the hour. But first, Dennis Cox, he's pointing to his microphone. That means he has something he wants to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick from my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Speaking of gold stars, I'm going to give a gold star to Raleigh Weight Loss Center because they helped me in my journey for weight loss lose over 40 pounds. And thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, not only did I lose over 40 pounds, I've been able to maintain that weight that I've lost as well. And the beautiful thing about Raleigh Weight Loss Center is the fact that there is a plan for you to follow. Simple and straightforward. And I got asked a lot during the weight loss journey about how hard was it to stay motivated? How hard was it to stick with the plan? And I said, about a week, 2 weeks into it, when I was down probably about 10 pounds in those first couple of weeks, it was really easy to stay on top of it because I was seeing results right away. And it was much easier to stick with the plan. Was I perfect? No, far from it. But sticking with the plan, being consistent with it, that's where I saw results. And if you are serious about the weight loss journey, Raleigh Weight Loss Center is the place to go. 919-897-7506. Give them a call or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. I'm living, breathing, walking proof that this program works. They've helped thousands of people lose anywhere between 10 to 20% of their body weight. I lost over 15% of mine. Thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone call. If you have questions, you got concerns, bring it all to the table. They'll answer them for you. 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan here on The Drive. We'll be back with football at 4 and way too early power rankings. Stick around.
Soundstation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Soundstation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Soundstation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Soundstation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed, plus free premium delivery with any bed and base. Ends Monday. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Get out there and enjoy this gorgeous afternoon. Lots of sunshine, temperatures above normal into the mid-60s for the first time in over a month. We'll see an overnight low of 50, so it's nice and mild overnight. And then tomorrow, another warm one with a high of 63, but it will be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers second half of the day.
This hour of the drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 46 points today to 50,182.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for football at 4. And maybe this is where I should, like, what do they do at the stereotypical, like, Alcoholics Anonymous? Like, hi, my name is Tim, and I'm an alcoholic. Hi, my name is Tim, and I'm addicted to the NFL. Because every time, the Super Bowl was Sunday. And every time I'm scrolling or I'm on a blog or a website and I see way too early 2026 NFL power rankings, I don't have the self-control not to click the link. Hit that little Command F function and see where they have the Panthers and see if I agree and see what the blurb says. Could I wait? What is the combine in 2 weeks and the NFL draft isn't for a handful of months?
Mm-hmm. It's like, what? Mock draft 7.0.
I'm addicted. And you know what? Everybody has their vice. I'm not even gonna worry about it. But I will say this. Panthers. Carolina Panthers. If you need a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, if you need a little bit of, they still aren't rocking with us, the Panthers have not changed the way people think about their franchise. And that's not to say they don't think you're better than they thought you were going to be at this time last year. There's an improvement there. But here's what I mean by that. And I just grabbed 2 of the power rankings just to tell the story. I don't got to give you a million of them. ESPN, way too early power rankings for next year. Beginning could not be more at the beginning of the offseason. 22nd in the NFL. Crawling their way out of the bottom 10. 22nd in the NFL. Fox had him at 24th. So that's essentially the range. If you look around, you're going to see them 25th, 21st, whatever. Like they're in that kind of low to mid 20s range. Panthers finished 16th this year by way of record. They were a playoff team, right? They did go in and stare down the Rams and take them all the way down to the wire. Which, by the way, I think the way the postseason played out, I don't think it's an outrageous take to say the Rams were the second best team in the NFL this year. I don't think it's an outrageous take to say the NFC Championship game was really the Super Bowl based on what happened in the Super Bowl and the way some of the other games played out. Right? And the Panthers stared them square in the eyes and took them all the way down to the buzzer. After having the 16th best record, you can argue strength of schedule and things, but here's where the disrespect comes from. I believe the way that you show respect to a organization, and we're talking top down, ownership, the 4 horsemen of the franchise, right? The ownership, GM, head coach, quarterback, and all of the branches that ripple off from that tree, right? The rest of the players, the rest of the scouting department, and on and on and on and on. The way you show respect is by assuming, or at least saying more likely than not, you will be better next year than this year. Especially when you've obviously been on the come up, and especially when you don't have the obvious hurdles, right? It's one thing if you're going into an offseason and, there's an obvious bottleneck of the salary cap, right? This is the ultimate first world problem. But if 4 years ago you drafted insanely well and you want to sign 6 draft picks to big second contracts, there's just a ridiculous bottleneck where you have to pick and choose who to keep and who you tag and all these other things. And okay, all right, you might take a step back if it's obvious you're going to have to move on from like 2 All-Pros. But if you're the Panthers, you're returning everybody. And I'm only kind of exaggerating there. Like, there are no awful free agent losses expected. There are no your coordinators expected or is taking a head coaching job. We've talked about it. You're unbelievably stable. Yet everyone's kind of just saying, probably off of the name, right? You haven't changed your reputation enough. They're saying, yeah, 16th was a little fluky. We'll put them back in the 20s. There's no way they get better. Despite the fact that they don't have all their original draft picks, but they have 7, right? So it's as if they have their entire allotment of draft picks. They have young players that you would expect to get better, right? They depended on a ton of rookies, and the next person that says it will be the millionth person that says it. You expect the biggest jump in play and in production from first to second year. Because you get it now, right? You know what it's like, and you can prepare accordingly. There's room to improve, is what I'm saying for the Carolina Panthers. Whether it's individual players getting better or addition with actual tangible assets, like a first-round pick or like a free agent acquisition, right? They have actual, factual room to improve, and the methods by which they can improve. And the power rankings are going, yeah, I don't see you getting better. I don't see you getting better. You're going to be worse this year than last year. That's to me what the league thinks of you. Because you could look at it and say, well, last year at this time, right, if you go 1 calendar year back, so the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. They just beat the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs. You go look at those way too early power rankings, Panthers are like 31st. Panthers are 29th, right? So, progress. Look at that. We moved up 10 spots year over year. I'm going, no. That's over expectations. No. What were you this year, right? Not expectations for last year. What were you actually? You were 8-9. You won your division. You made it to the postseason. Middle of the pack as far as production and results. An improvement would be what? 14th? 15th? If you were one of, and guess what? The Seattle Seahawks just re-entered this conversation because under Pete Carroll in his heyday, they were one of the most of what I'm about to tell you. When you are just one of those super respected franchises, you get like a 2 or 3 power rankings boost just on, that culture is fantastic.
Sure. You've earned it.
Yeah, they just do things the right way. And, like you draft a player who everybody has a second-round grade on in the first round, and all of a sudden everybody changes their grade from second round to first round because, well, if they like him, then there must be something good here. The Panthers are getting not only none of that, they're still getting negative that. They're still getting, well, if their roster was good enough to be, a 15th, 16th team this year, then next year they'll turn that thing into the 23rd. And I would use that as motivation. We talked about it earlier. I don't know if they could have done better in the draft last year. I genuinely don't know if it's fair, even with 2020 hindsight, to look at the way they handled the NFL draft last year and say they should have been significantly better. And that's unbelievable because the number one exercise for looking at drafts is saying how dumb you were for not taking this player, that player, or the other player. Yet, with all their picks in a first rounder this year, you're not going to get better. You're not going to draft the rookie of the year again. You're not going to draft a player at a position of need that impacts the roster positively again. You're not going to find advanced analytics loving edge rushers in the second round and third round. Again, it's almost like they're saying the last 2 off seasons in which they went from, 2 wins to 5 wins, 5 wins to 8 wins.
Mm-hmm.
They're flukes. They're flukes. And by the way, I'm not predicting they're going to win 3 more games than last year, but maybe one of those like slowing curves, 1 more win.
Yeah, as it plateaus, do you get above 500? I also wonder as well as how different are we looking at this team if Atlanta doesn't beat the Saints and they don't make the playoffs and they don't have that, oh my God, they played really well against the Rams in the playoffs. The game was really close. Like, what are we thinking? Like, they're 8-9, lost 3 of the last 4 games in the regular season, have multiple chances to win the division, and you didn't do it. I wonder if teams or people that, for example, make these power rankings are looking, going, look, you backdoored your way into the playoffs last year. It's true. You did.
This is where I'm glad that we have like podcasts and recorded. We have receipts. I would be fighting against that so hard because at the beginning of the year and again at the middle of the year, we made a point to say, listen, I know expectations and hopes are changing because you've won a couple games and you've strung some things together and you beat the Packers at Lambeau and you did this and you did that. 8 wins is a massive success, right? That is 3 more wins than last year. We were on that train as like trying to be a effective cold glass of water to the face on like whether you made the playoffs or not. At the beginning of the season, if somebody, the football leprechaun that I always talk about, popped up or football troll under a bridge popped up and said, right now you can sign up for 8 wins this season, we would have all taken it, not because that's like your end goal, not because you want to be complacent or satisfied with that, but because that is a huge step forward towards where you want to be. The Panthers, the last 2 years, again, not satisfied. You're not complacent. You're not happy with it. But you have to look at it and go, these are not like shuffle steps. These are big steps. 3 wins is a lot. They're expecting that to stop. And I'm not saying you got to take this same, full lunge leap forward, but they're saying step backward. And I would take that as disrespect going into the offseason if I were Dan Morgan.
I think it's a lot of people are saying there's this way that roster is right now, that they pretty much got to their ceiling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or perhaps even outkick their coverage a little bit.
Possibly.
Maybe they were standing on the roof going, the ceiling's a little bit below us. We overshot a little bit here. Which is perhaps, I'm not saying that's wrong, but I'm saying if somebody ever told me that, I would be very disrespected by that. If somebody ever told me, I think you've reached your ceiling at something I cared about and wanted to get better at. And, I think you're actually not as good as you looked this year. I would go, you know what? Hopefully you can open up the weight room early tomorrow because I'm a little extra motivated. That's the way you have to look at it. If you needed a little more motivation. Again, the way too early power rankings, they are nothing but fodder. They're nothing but discussion points. But as I said, hi, my name is Tim, and I'm addicted to the NFL. I'm addicted. But I'm not weaning myself off it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Not going to any, actually, a little impatient. Fine, just plays with a lot of TVs. Just watch football. So you can't hurt yourself. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, I want to tell you all about Maynard Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. That's what you should be worried about when you're in your house. Is your team going to win? Is your bet going to hit? Is your young player going to develop into a star? What you shouldn't be worried about is that toilet running? What you shouldn't be worried about is, oh man, did the electricity just go out? I can't even watch my team now. Or why am I so cold? I have the heat set to 78. And also in the summertime, the reverse would be true. Maynard Service Company wants to take all those worries off your plate. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, they cover it all. Whatever issues you have with your house, or even better, before you have issues with your house, call Maynard Service Company and they can help. They can help take that off, right? Take that worry away so you can worry about the important stuff like, Are they going to cover 3.5? That's the jokingly more important stuff. Or hanging out with your family, all those sorts of things as well. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, whatever you have going on, maintenance schedules, service schedules, or, of course, repairs. Give them a call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993 for Maynor Service Company, or visit them online at maynorservices.com. That's MAYNOR services.com. Up next, we're going to play a game of Cop or Drop, and Dennis is going to get out his red pen and do some grading for the Carolina Hurricanes. Stick around.
The world's best athletes in Italy are going for the gold, and 99.9 The Fan will help you follow them for all 16 days of the Winter Games through February 22nd. Listen for all the action from across the Atlantic. Check in often for event finals from Italy and the updated medal count as the USA takes on the world. Updates from the Winter Games on 99.9 The Fan are presented by Wake Med.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
Dauntless Transmissions has been the trusted transmission shop in Raleigh for more than 27 years. But why do they call it Dauntless Transmissions? Well, dauntless means showing fearlessness and determination. Now, the experts at Dauntless Transmission are dauntless when it comes to caring for your vehicle. Whether that means a total transmission rebuild, complex engine or brake service, or just a routine tune-up, your vehicle will be dauntless when they're done with it. Visit dauntlesstransmissions.com. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Car Scott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki outboards Thursday, February 12th through Sunday, February 15th. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands. On-site financing to get you approved and on the water. Boats in stock and price to move now. Test ride your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Car Scott Building in Raleigh, Thursday, February 12th through Sunday, February 15th, featuring Suzuki outboards.
It's Heart Month. I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm here with Dr. Andrew Sampson of Wake Med Heart and Vascular. Doctor, in simplest terms, what exactly is a heart murmur, and how do you know if you have one?
So a heart murmur is just turbulent blood flow going through the different chambers of the heart. It can be completely benign, something that has no effect on your health, or it can be due to a heart valve that works inappropriately or incorrectly. And that can be due to either narrowing of the heart valve or a leaky heart valve. You typically are diagnosed with a heart murmur by your primary care doctor, who listens to your chest with a stethoscope. Once that has been evaluated and it's been determined that you do have a heart murmur, the next step is typically an echocardiogram or an ultrasound of the heart for further evaluation.
If you have more questions about heart murmurs or anything about your general heart health, go ahead and visit wakemed.org. And keep listening all month for more information and tips about heart health.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Ball comes out. It's still loose, rolling inside the 5. Picked up by Arizona in the end zone for a touchdown. A disastrous start for the Panthers. Here's the blitz. Young under pressure. Hit as he throws it. It is intercepted. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers for the Panthers.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. What'd you think? I was being too nice to the Panthers? So you...
No, not at all. Actually, it's going to lead into a copper drop question I have.
All right, there we go. Before we do that, though, it's time for the Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy. Again, we look at the medal count here for the Winter Games as I refresh them to make sure they are up to date. Norway continues to be in front. They are tied with Italy for the most total medals with 11 apiece. But Norway wins the gold medal tiebreaker by a bundle. They have 6 gold medals. Italy, 2. Italy racking up the bronze, though. There's a legendary stand-up bit about the medals, and bronze is the second best according to that stand-up bit because, well, at least you get something. Silver, well, what happened? Bronze, well, you at least got something. Gold, obviously, being the best. Norway has the most of them with 6. United States and Japan, that's right, we're tied in third with 7 total medals. We are also tied with 2 gold medals apiece, but the United States wins the tiebreaker over Japan to be third in total medal count by way of having 1 more silver. We have 3 silver. Japan has 2. They have 3 bronze. We have 2. So we are tied at 7 overall in the medal count. If you're looking for other countries of note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it was nice to count that long. Canada is in 10th with just 3 total medals at this point, which would, again, a little bit less than half of what the United States has, just if you're keeping score on that sort of thing. That is the WakeMed Winter Games medal count from Italy. Now, Dennis, as you teased there, it is time for Copper Drop.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
All right, to build off the conversation we just had about the way too early NFL power rankings going into 2026. Again, way too early. Haven't had free agency, haven't had the draft, haven't had OTAs, any of that kind of stuff yet. But Copper Drop. Bryce Young will sign a contract extension at some point with the Carolina Panthers. Cop or drop?
At some point. So we're doing this is not this offseason.
Yes. So a little bit more broad scope here.
Yeah, I think it's more likely than not. So I will cop it. This is prediction, not necessarily what I would do. And for this reason, the quarterback wilderness, meaning you don't have one, is terrifying. I think most front offices have proven they'd rather be tied up, locked in, long-term deal with an average quarterback than be out there looking for one. This offseason, I think, is going to scare a lot of people. There's not a lot of answers at quarterback. I've seen the top tier, and they're not even really available. You'd have to go probably trade a bunch for him. Obviously Mendoza, but he's going to the Raiders, so I'm not even counting that. Kyler Murray and Tua, perhaps available guys. That's maybe the top tier.
Yeah, unless you want to go the Kirk Cousins route.
Kirk Cousins, Malik Willis, maybe that next tier.
Willis is probably going to fetch a lot of money.
That's not like if you're somebody that's like hitching your wagon, your career to winning games this year, that's not the most overwhelmingly positive group to choose from. So I think this offseason is going to scare some people, and thus maybe you squint with one eye, you close the other entirely, and you go, that's a franchise quarterback. Let's give him $50 million a year just because you don't want to be one of those teams out there looking.
All right, since the United States women's hockey team just scored another goal to make it 5-0 over Canada, Copper Drop, USA wins gold in both men's and women's ice hockey this year.
I would assume the odds would be against me on that.
Okay. They would be.
Hopefully everyone is out there knows me by now.
The women's team's a wagon.
Yeah, the women's team also, hockey is one of those, I just watched the Miracle on Ice documentary. That's not what it's called, but the 1980 men's ice hockey team documentary on Netflix. I mean, they lost by a bundle to a whole bunch of teams and then came back and beat them in the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of months later, a couple of weeks later in some cases. This being pool play, United States women beating Canada by a bundle doesn't necessarily mean if they square off again later on, it's going to be the same. So you got to keep your squeeze their throat, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm copying both the men and women winning. I do think for the men to win, you're going to need a couple, and I don't know who, but you're going to need a couple superhuman performances, right? You're going to need somebody to do something special, whether could be in goal, could be a 2-goal game from somebody you're not expecting. I don't know. Or, like a Slavin Faber absolutely locks down a McDavid line and changes the game there. Like somebody has to be superhuman there. But yeah, I'm thinking they get the superhuman performance they need when they need it.
Okay, so you're copping gold, both men's and women's?
Copping gold for both.
Let's go. All right, next one here.
Just because I don't get to root for these guys often, Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
I was just having this conversation the hallway earlier today. I'm getting like Peyton Manning 05 vibes.
Okay.
Like he can't win the big one in international hockey until he does. And then everyone's like, yeah, he can.
Or in regular season or postseason hockey.
But I don't care about him in regular season or postseason. I care about him in international team hockey.
Okay.
I think he could easily have a game in a big moment where he scores the goal or a couple. And all of a sudden everybody talks about him differently with Team USA. They gave him the captain. They gave him the C. By my bylaws internally, you're the captain of Team USA, I'm riding with you. I got 3 weeks where me and Austin Matthews are homies. So I think he's going to put some demons to bed. Big goals.
All right, speaking of the Carolina Hurricanes, cop or drop? We hear about a Brandon Bussey extension before NHL play resumes in a few weeks. Cop or drop?
I'm copping.
Okay.
For 2 reasons. One, what else are they doing? Right? Yeah, just watching. You watch. They're probably watching this game, and they're like, "Yeah, as soon as the women wrap this one up, I'll call you." Like there's nothing. The agents and GMs can really attack the extensions on their own roster for especially like I'd say this first week and a half. The second, once you get to the latter parts, you can start talking trades again and everything else. But I almost don't think you want to be talking about trades for 3 weeks. You can almost overdo it. So yeah, I think the Bussey will take center stage. The Bussey extension and perhaps an Nikishin conversation. I don't know if that one will get done. Can take center stage, and then also you get a week. You can like sober thoughts, right? Like you're not caught up in he won again. Goodness gracious! You can take a deep breath, sleep on it, and everybody can come to a logical conclusion.
All right, we'll have a couple more hockey questions here coming up, but I actually want to get to college basketball since we have 2 games tonight. UNC taking on Miami, Duke taking on Pitt. We saw NC State lose to Louisville last night in men's basketball. But cop or drop, the ACC tournament champion will come from the triangle. Cop or drop?
Yeah, I'm copping.
Okay, which school?
I still think Duke is the favorite, and I don't know if I'm not taking Duke versus the field. But I do think if you take Duke, UNC, and NC State, you get somewhere in the 50%, like 55% of all 3 combined. With the lion's share of that being Duke and UNC. State, if they catch the right heater, when you shoot as well as they can shoot, there is always the possibility that you catch fire at the right time and you roll. This team is better than the team that won the ACC tournament a couple of years ago for NC State. Granted, that team was magical, but it's there as far as talent. If I rank them, I think the net rankings have it correct. I think Duke is most likely, UNC next, then State. But yeah, I think if you give me the 3 of them, the ACC champion will come from very close to where we're sitting right now.
All right, next one, cop or drop. ACC will get 8 teams. I asked it again. I'm going to ask it again. ACC will get 8 teams in the NCAA tournament men's basketball. Cop or drop?
I'm copping. 8 is the right number as of right now. Could it be 7? Could it be 9? Yes. And actually, we got to give a shout out, and maybe we'll bring him on the show at one point. We got to give a shout out to Max Gorin, who is he produces Next Up with Paul Ihander every morning, every weekday morning, 9 to 10. He is grinding some bracketology at his desk. He's doing his own not just the top 68. He's doing the first 10 teams out. He's grinding all the metrics, and he's putting it all together. He's into it. And with that, I think the ACC's right number right now is 8. But I was talking with Max today. He's like, once you get down to the teams that are on the bubble, he's like, there's not a lot of really good teams there, which I think is usually how it is when you invite 68 teams. They're not all going to be top 25 teams. You know what I mean? I'm good at math, but also there is always that room for 3 wins in your conference tournament. You know what I mean? If a team starts on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and wins 3 or 4 games and makes it to the Final Four of your conference tournament, or they make it to the championship, you should be able to play your way in. So, yeah, if a Cal or a Stanford or somebody goes on a little bit of a heater and they have some quad 1 games and they win a bunch of them, they could squeak in. But the way it is right now, I think Duke's in, Louisville's in, Virginia's in, Carolina's in, State's in, Clemson's in. I think SMU gets in, and then one of Miami and Virginia Tech get in, and then anyone else could play their way up, but they'd have to do something dramatic. I think 8's the right number right now. So do they get 8? I'm copping. I hope for more, but 8's the right number as of right now.
So actually checking Joe Lunardi's ESPN bracketology and all that, I think he has actually 9 ACC teams in right now.
So that would be not either Miami or Virginia Tech. That would likely be both.
He has Miami as one of the last 4 in. And he has Virginia Tech and Cal actually as part of the first 4 out. I actually need to go back and look and see here.
Does it then Wake? Is Wake in?
I don't think Wake is in.
Probably Stanford would be the one.
No, Stanford's not in it.
Goodness. I mean, Syracuse ain't in. There's no one else that.
It might be a misprint, but at least 8 because he has Duke, Clemson, Virginia, NC State, UNC, Miami, Louisville, SMU. So those 8 are in. He has Virginia Tech and Cal right there on the bubble.
Virginia Tech and Cal are in the 50s in net ranking.
Yeah.
They're a team that they're probably 2 or 3 wins in the ACC tournament away from stealing someone's bubble spot. And I'm fine with that, right? As long as the teams they beat don't get knocked out. But yes, I think 8's the right number.
All right, next one here. Because, again, watching hockey and all that kind of stuff. Again, the NHL will be back in a couple of weeks after the Olympics are all wrapped up. Cop or drop. The Carolina Hurricanes will make 2 trades before the trade deadline. Cop or drop?
2. And I'm going to add a caveat. I'm going to add a qualifier, like real trades.
Yeah,
right,
real trades. Not like, hey, we're going to send this minor leaguer out for this other minor leaguer.
We're not taking on an ECHL contract to get a future 4th.
Yeah.
2, and that doesn't include like you wouldn't count the Miko acquisition as 2 trades because they also got Taylor Hall. That's 1 trade. He's thinking.
I'm trying to think. Is that technically was 2 trades?
But I don't really count it as.
Yeah, it happened at the same time, but that was 2 trades.
Okay, then I think if they make 1 trade, I think there's going to be something like that 2 trades because I don't believe the Canes. Their roster is too good, too solid, too deep for them to feel the need to move around bottom of the roster role players, right? I think if they make a move, this bad boy's a headliner. This is like the chasing a cup move. And with that, they're usually, unless it's a rental, but I don't think they're in the mix for that either, unless it's a rental with an extension already in place. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and say I'll cop 2, but it's going to feel like 1. Matter of fact, Dennis, on that note, let's cut the music because I want to put you on the spot for some things. You always have all the fun with cop or drop. So I'm it's not cop or drop, but it's something else. I did this around the halfway point of the NHL season. This feels like the halfway point of the NHL season with the Olympic
break. Even though we're
break.
really 2/3 of the way through?
Yes. It's I don't know, a natural break. So I want some grades from you. I'm gonna throw players at you, names for the Canes, and I want you to give me a old school letter grade, A-, B+, whatever, for how they've done in the first 2/3, what feels like first half of the season. Savvy? I always wanted to say that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll start with what I think is an easy one. This is like the control. Brandon Bussey.
A+, keep it moving.
Alexander Nikishin. By the way, these are not random. Like people have been doing this online, and I've picked the names that have been the most polarizing amongst Canes fans for you. I'm not making this easy outside of Brandon Bussey.
Yeah, Brandon Bussey's an A+. That's no notes, buddy. Go home. I say Nikishin, I give him a B+.
Okay.
I think B+ because I think overall his play has been good, but he's still adapting to the NHL style of play, still adapting to what the Carolina Hurricanes are asking him to do. We have seen some lapses defensively early on, but you have seen incremental improvement over the course of the season from him. So I give him a B+.
Yeah,
you've seen his physicality. We know what he could do offensively. His poise with the puck is absolutely outstanding. But I would give him a B+ just because there's still room for him to grow.
He's great in like projects and presentations, but the day-to-day needs to be
exactly.
taken care of a little bit more.
It's small details.
But goodness gracious that, he did the PowerPoint presentation at everybody's hair blown back. Andrei Svechnikov.
I'm tempted to give him an A- right now. I give him an A-.
This is the full season.
Again, factoring in full season because
which includes
the beginning of the
games.
season was rough, was bad. but when he's played at his best, he's been absolutely outstanding. And you got to look as well, like the pace that he is on to have one of his best offensive outputs of his entire career this season. Again, if he maintains the pace that he's on. So I'll give him an A- just for the fact that there's been some volatility, some ups and downs. Still a lot of penalty minutes floating around out there for Andrei Svechnikov. It's 42 this season. But overall, it's been pretty good.
It doesn't feel like he's been in the box as much as his reputation says, but 42 is not.
Yeah, 42. It's a lot.
Can't argue with numbers. Next up to the grading, Keandre Miller.
Keandre, I'll go with the B. I'll go with the solid. I'll go with the solid B for Keandre Miller, just for the simple fact that he missed a lot of time and just was kind of had some nagging injuries early on in the season. So it just took him a little bit to get his footing. There have been a couple of moments in games, especially on the back-to-backs. Again, I think it's byproduct of the injury. On the second game of the back-to-back, he wasn't very strong. But I think as the season's gotten along, he's gotten a lot stronger. So yeah, I give him a solid B right now, just for the simple fact that you have seen him get better as the season's gone along, as he's gotten healthier. I would like to see him chip in a little bit more in terms of the goal production, but I think that will come with time. But I'll give him a solid B.
He shows the flashes where he makes a few plays where it's like, whoa, and he's so big.
Yeah, the range that he has defensively is insane.
Next up, we go back to the forwards. Nikolai Ehlers. The new guys were a lot of the polarizing.
Yeah, his speed is noticeable on the ice, and his ability to, when he has the puck, to still skate at full speed with the stick on his puck is just, it's unreal what that guy can do. I probably would go with, because of the slow start at the beginning of the year, I will probably go with a B. I will go with the solid B for him right now. I'm tempted to go B+. You know what? I'll go B+. I'll go B+.
Talked your way into it.
I'll go B+ for him, because the offensive production overall is pretty good, and he's scoring at about the pace that you would expect him with his first year with the team, new system adapting and all that. But knock on wood, he's been healthy, and he's been reliable in terms of, you haven't seen him have these massive defensive lapses or anything along those lines. I'll give him a B+, but there's still a lot of room for him to go.
If I would write, when you get the report card, you have the grade and all the stuff, but then there's the little comment section. I would make sure his parents know he's a joy to have in class. You see him, even in the behind-the-scenes stuff, he's always kind of hanging out with a Nikishin, or he's always kind of in the mix. He appears to really fit in class. Participation grade high, and moves up and down the lineup a bit, plays with everybody. Just a joy to have in class. All right. I'm going to put you on the spot with this one. Logan Stankoven.
I'll go B- for Stankoven.
Okay.
I'll go B- for Stankoven.
Overwhelmingly pretty good here. The whole team.
You are the top team in the East, or the second best team in the East, or tops of the Metro. So I would go B- for Stankoven, because I think one thing there's context, and I might be saying you're grading on a curve. Sure, I'll grade on a curve. Why not? I'm the one giving these grades. You're not. You give your own grades. But here's the thing with Stankoven, is that we have to remind ourselves is that he's in his first full season with the team. All right? He's in his just in his second full season in the NHL. He's still pretty young. He's 22 years old, 23? Still a young guy. So and he's also adapting to a new position. I know he played center in juniors, but he's adapting to playing center in the NHL. So again, first full season with the team, second full season in the NHL, and first full season playing center. And he's being asked to play center. It's not like he's I'm playing center, otherwise y'all can kick rocks. It's not the case. He's been tasked with this responsibility because the organization sees the potential in him. Now, has he been perfect with it? No. Faceoffs can definitely be better. Obviously, you're playing against if you're playing against bigger guys in the middle of the ice, it's more difficult for him because of his size. But overall, his line over the course of the season, in terms of expected goals and scoring opportunities, has actually been one of the better ones across the entire league. They actually do generate chances, but the production and the numbers just haven't been there. But some of the underlying numbers are there as well, so that's why I say I'll give him a B-.
I just looked up his age. Their next game, the first game they play coming out of the break,
will
be his birthday. He'll be turning 23 years old.
There you go. Again, he's still super young.
22 years old.
Let's also not forget that it took Aho. Aho's played multiple years as a winger before getting moved to center, and it took him time to adapt to playing center, even after playing years as a winger beforehand.
All right, I'm going to go a little off the beaten path here.
Okay.
Rod Brindamore.
I give Rod an A-.
All right.
I mean,
Explain.
you're at the top spot in the Metropolitan Division with, less than 30 games to go, especially when you factor in all the injuries that they've had this season and the fact that he's kept this thing where it is. At minimum, an A-.
That's specifically what happened to the blue line for the first 2 months of the season, to finagle that appropriately and shuffle in all those rookies.
Yeah.
And that's not to downplay like the Carrier, the Robinson injuries that they've also dealt with, but just Gostisbehere in and out of the lineup. Miller was out. Chatfield was out. Slavin was out for first half of the year. And Pyotr Kochekhov's out.
Yeah.
It's
like, wait, I got this. Who's this guy in goal? You said Brandon?
I mean, I think he's such a good coach that it's like the handicap is almost warranted. Like, if you had a healthy roster, it'd be too easy for you, Rod, excuse me. But this is a good one there. All right, a few more here, couple more. Let's go Aho, Sebastian Aho. Grade first 2/3 of the season.
I give Aho again based off expectations. I give him a B+. I give him a B+ for Sebastian Aho just because again. Point per game, he's been healthy all season, which is a good thing. But point per game, the face-off numbers have been down this season compared to years past. Because you look at last season, he was at 55%. The year before that, 54%. He's actually gotten his face-off numbers actually above 50% on the season now. He's at 50.6%. So he's been trending in the right direction in that regard. But you would hope for a little bit of an uptick in terms of just the overall point production. But you never know. He might come back for the Olympics and just be on fire the last 25 games of the season. So you never know entirely. But point per game, still super productive. He is your number one center. He's obviously fantastic still on all ends of the ice. I would say a B+ because, again, you're expecting maybe a little bit more from him.
Last one. The captain, Jordan Staal.
Oh, A. An A for the captain.
Guys scoring goals.
But it's also when he's scoring them. It's the fact that it's a tie game or it's a 1-goal game. He's either tying it up or he's giving you a lead or extending a lead from 1 to 2. It's not, hey, it's 3-0. I'm just going to pop one here with 2 minutes left to make it 4-0. He ain't scoring that way.
I agree with you. Although empty net Staal did get one right before the break.
Hey, you know what? Guess what? It's in a 1-0 game,
I know.
though.
No, I agree. I'm just saying he's tasting that 20 goals.
Easily.
He's hunting that bad boy. There you go. Thank you for doing that,
Oh,
Dennis.
my pleasure.
And if you disagree with any of them, it's at the Fan Rookie on Twitter.
Me, I don't care.
Or you can jump in our YouTube live stream comments. Dennis will be perusing those as well.
By the way, last 5 games before the break, 4 goals and an assist for Jordan Staal. Points in 5 straight.
I'm telling you. He was in the TA's office asking for extra credit. He was going, hey, I want to make sure I have this midterm grade all the way up there. Like, what do I need to do? Score goals? Cool. I'll be right back. Power play goals? You want me to win the face-off and then finish the set piece? Deal. Be back in a minute. Pretty much what he did. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The starting 5 is coming up next. Oh, no, sorry. We have Feedback Frenzy coming up next. But before we get there, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I joke about this often. Putting a awesome timepiece on your wrist gives you power. And maybe never more do I understand that than when I completely forget to put a watch on and I feel just naked and pathetic. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, they want to make sure you always have that power with an Omega or a pre-owned and vintage Rolex or a Cartier or a Hamilton or a Norcane or a Blancpain or a Glashütte Original or a G-Shock or a Nomos. They have it all. And you know when you should check it out? February 12th when they're hosting a USA Hockey Watch Party as the United States takes on Latvia. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. will be the party. It's going to be a fun afternoon celebrating the games, complimentary drinks and snacks, and not only cheering on, but trying on. Make sure you try on the watches that pique your fancy. Win some giveaways. They have tickets to different events and games. So check it all out. It's at the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh on February 12th from 3 to 6 p.m. Just make sure when you walk in, you make sure they know that you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. We hear from many of you. Coming up next in something we call the Feedback Frenzy. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
Even with no moves by the Olympic roster freeze date, don't believe the Canes front office isn't answering the door on potential additions and seeing who's on the other side. You know that door knock, right? Sometimes it's a Girl Scouts with cookies. Sometimes it's a misdelivered package. If it's the latter, you hope you've got a good neighbor to work with and maybe you still get something out of it.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Hi, Greg Talbot with Strategic Tax Resolution. Tax enforcement and defense strategies have changed a lot over the last year. After nearly 5 years, the IRS has restarted automated collections. You could be next for bank levies and wage garnishments. Ignoring the issue is not an option. Call 984-272-2600 to get protected. Do you have unfiled returns or tax debt? We work directly with the IRS and states so you don't have to. Let us use our proven strategies and experience with the IRS and state to resolve your tax issue. Qualified clients have cut their tax debt by more than 90%. How would that feel? Act now to learn the latest updates to tax relief programs. Your eligibility may not be the same. Strategic Tax Resolution. Local, trusted, A+ rated by the BBB. Call 984-272-2600. Ask for me, Greg Talbot. 984-272-2600. You've got a guy on your side. StrategicTaxResolution.com. Get relief.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or price stopped, opt out.
Mom, can we get snacks? Unless chips are on sale for $3.99, we're in a snack drought, buddy.
Hey, remember Current? They can get us up to $750 before payday once we qualify.
Wait, $750 of our money now?
Yep, and they're even offering an extra $75 sign-up bonus right now. Set up an eligible payroll deposit and see if we qualify for an advance. No hassle, no credit checks.
Gummy worms, here we come.
Current has your back with up to $750 in paycheck advances once you qualify. And right now, get an extra $75 bonus when you set up an eligible payroll deposit. Join the millions who count on Current when it matters most. Text BALANCE to 323232 now. That's BALANCE to 323232. BALANCE to 323232.
Paycheck advance is offered by Fineco Advance LLC, a financial technology company, not an FDIC-insured bank. Eligibility and available amounts may vary and are subject to change at any time. For full terms and conditions, visit current.com/radio or call 1-888-851-3177 for more information.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Tuesday, everybody. High energy on this Tuesday. I like it. Have some good college basketball games.
Win 5-0 over Canada. Women's hockey. Let's go.
Darn right.
Let's go.
Darn right. This is exceptionally American of me. I love beating other countries at sports that it's like they're super duper number one. Like, oh, that's what we do best. And then we're like, yeah, we're going to be the best at that. How you like me now?
Oh, that's what you do best? And that's your best? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be best at that too.
I understand though. It's still just round robin play. I get it. It only counts if you beat them in the medal rounds.
I agree with that.
You know,
you can't win the medal rounds today. What you can do is win 5-0 in pool play.
That's true. You can.
You got to play the schedule they give you.
Exactly.
Gosh, where do Americans get this competitive reputation? Right, like we like rubbing it in. Oh yeah, because we do. Take that, USA, USA. I mean, even if you look at the total medal count, we're at the moment, and the medals are like that is medal rounds. We're kind of smoking Canada as of right now. I completely withhold the right to change that as we move on. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Right now, it's time to hear from many of you and something we call the Feedback Frenzy.
All right, so just a little bit ago, you asked me grades on the Carolina Hurricanes again about the
quick feedback.
2/3 of the way through the season. All right, so this one actually comes from Bruce Anderson. I guess again, grades. You said A- for Svetch. When you average his F for the first half and the A from the last month, at best it averages out to a C+. Hopefully keeps climbing.
I think the F is probably for the first 12 games.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it for the first half. And maybe a D, right? So if you have a D for the first 12 games and then an A for, how many games are they up to now? It's got to be in the
57
50s,
total.
yeah.
So the other 45?
Yeah, that's I'm all right with your Svetch. I'm all right with your Svetch grade. I'm not saying I agree with all of them, down to the letter, down to the plus or minus, but the Svetch one was pretty good. I mean, you have to you got to give him credit for the finish, right? You got to give him credit for the driving home, across the finish line with steam. That's what I'm looking for.
I mean, he's second on your team in points this season, and
he's on pace for 70.
Yeah, there's that. There is
which
that.
would be, let me make sure I don't misspeak, which would be a career high. Because his career high right now is 69, correct?
Yeah, it was a very nice season he had a few years ago.
There you go. So yeah, I'm fine with your grade. I disagree with the commenter.
That's fair. You know what? Again, that's okay.
No, that's the best part about sports. We can disagree and still be friends.
All right, so we had a conversation yesterday about Duke versus Carolina, because obviously big game this past weekend. And this one actually comes from Dolphin. From Dolphins with a Z. Wait a minute. You mean Duke didn't get any calls? First time for that.
You know what? I've seen both sides of this, right? I'm seeing the Duke haters saying, "No, now you know what it feels like to not get every call." And I also see the Duke lovers saying, "No one's ever allowed to say Duke gets all the calls ever again." It's probably somewhere in the middle. If we're being real, that is a really weird game. One foul on a team in an entire half of basketball is exceptionally rare. It just doesn't happen often. So I don't think, that's almost Olympics, right? You throw out the high and the low score, that doesn't impact anything as far as what you expect for refs against a particular team, because it's just too outlandish. It's too crazy. I don't think I'm making any hard and fast rules about how you react to a team's relationship with the refs off of that game, because it's too rare.
All right, this next one comes from Blues and Grays. Blues and Grays on the same lines of that conversation. All year long, UNC has been praised for playing defense without fouling, especially the bigs. So now that they don't foul and everyone is surprised. Now, was there a bit of home cooking? Of course. But that's not a bias thing. It's a sports thing. Great win for the Tar Heels.
Let's see here. You're not incorrect. UNC does average the fewest personal fouls per game. However, Duke is hot on their heels in second. So it's the differential that people got really worked up about. And I'm not saying the refs had any kind of impact. Obviously they had an impact. Refs always do. But I'm not making excuses or anything. UNC, massive win for your team. Enjoy it. But it's the differential. If both teams had one foul, nobody is complaining, right? If they just let them play, if they, told everybody to have their mouthpiece and helmets on and put their shoulder pads on, make sure you got your thigh pads, and they just let them play, cool. It's the fact that the differential was there that's the issue.
All right, we also had a conversation yesterday about Super Bowl 60. And again, a lot of conversation about Drake May, tough performance, and all that stuff. Now, this one comes from Gary Goodman. Hey, John Elway lost his first couple Super Bowls. He lost his first 4, actually.
I think I saw there are 4 quarterbacks in history that have lost their first Super Bowl and gone on to win them. John Elway is one of them. Jalen Hurts was one of them. Peyton Manning? No.
They lost the first one to Drew Brees and the Falcons. Or Drew Brees and the Saints?
Okay. Perhaps.
Yeah.
I forget who was on the list now. But there were 4 that had done it. And there are
Mahomes lost.
Mahomes won his
first. Yeah.
But then there's he got beat up by the Patriots before getting to the Super Bowl. That was where he learned his lessons. But as of late, it's the adding on stat is if you make it to a Super Bowl in your second year in the league, none of them have gone on to win again. That's Dan Marino, Joe Burrow, and Brock Purdy. So it's really an incomplete stat because Joe Burrow and Brock Purdy could go on to win
still playing.
multiple, and so could Drake May.
No, Roethlisberger won his second year, yeah.
No, if you lost in your second year, then none of them have gone back to win beyond that.
Gotcha.
No, Roethlisberger, he rode some coattails to that first one, baby. Made a pretty good tackle. Hilarious tackle. Shout out to Jerome Bettis.
Yeah, for real.
Either way, I don't think what Drake May put on tape this postseason is any kind of indictment on what he could be in the future. I also want to point this out because every stat about making it to the Super Bowl is flawed in one specific way. It's really hard for everyone to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, once you make it to the Super Bowl, if you lose, it's really unusual to go win one again. It's like, well, yeah, it's really unusual for anyone to win a Super Bowl. Like, if you take out Tom Brady making it 10 times and winning 7 of them, there's not a lot of Super Bowls to go around in the last handful of years. And if you take out, 4 first-ballot Hall of Famers that have been in a ton of them, there's just not that many opportunities. So, guess what else is rare? Like a left-handed quarterback to win. Guess what else is rare? A quarterback 6'6" or taller to win. Like, it's rare for every type of quarterback to win because it's just really hard to do, and you don't get to do it that often.
All right, this one comes from DeLeo Stones. DeLeo Stone says this: I hope people honestly see how important offensive line really is. Stop all the dumb wide receiver draft talk.
I don't think anybody is. Is there someone arguing out there that offensive line play isn't important?
I guess. I don't know.
I think it's. I mean, the Patriots drafted a guy in the top 5 on the offensive line. That's about as much of an investment as you can make in the offensive line. It didn't work, but that doesn't mean they're walking around going like, we don't need an offensive line. They didn't draft. By the way, the first wide receiver they drafted was in the 3rd round, Kyle Williams. Offensive line is important. Occasionally, teams, I guess, think they can skate by, or more likely, they have an inflated sense of who they have on their offensive line, and it turns out they're not as good as they thought. Not, we can get through with a bad offensive line. They just misevaluated their offensive line. But nobody's out there arguing, good, ignore the offensive line. We don't need them. Let's spend more money on safeties and running backs. Like, it doesn't happen.
All right, final one here.
Let's do it.
We have another grade. So our good guy Micah here on our YouTube live chat. Talking about Carolina Hurricanes and grades real quick. Eric Tulsky, C-. He failed to add an offseason what we needed when we needed size and a number 2 center. Trade deadline could change the grade.
I guess, yeah, incomplete on that one. This has been one of my little pet arguments. I've had it a lot with Canes fans. You're going to drive yourself crazy if you expect the Canes to act how you would act if you were the Canes. Like, it's pretty obvious they don't think they need as much size as many Canes fans think they need. So
it's also, what's the asking price for some of this?
So if you're judging them by do they go get 6'4", 220 at every spot along their forwards, you're setting yourself up for disappointment, right? Like, they look at their history. They have a different priority list than you do. I'm not saying they're right, you're wrong. I'm not saying you're right, they're wrong. I'm just saying if you keep expecting it, I think you're going to keep being disappointed. I hope they do go get size. I do think they need more size. But if they go out and get another 190-pound forward, I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, man. I'm like, yeah, that's makes sense.
I can also bring up as well is that the center market was completely depleted.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing out there, and no one was trading centers. So no one was doing it. So, like, what was available? I asked that question. Who was available?
They went and got
no one.
The big fish in the free agency pool in Nikolai Ehlers.
Yeah.
They made a big splash in trading for Keandre Miller.
Yep.
They I think the team improved. They got younger. They got more talented. We'll see if it pays off. And, yes, incomplete because the trade deadline's still a decent amount into the future, and he's got a lot of time to work in the shadows during this Olympic break, and we'll see what he emerges from the Olympic break with.
Yeah, Sam Bennett never hit the free agent market.
There was a lot of almost Canes, meaning they weren't actually almost Canes, but fans wanted them. There were some that I wanted. I mean, even something like we talked a lot about Alex Tuck and Tage Thompson as targets that we would want. Turns out that team's better than you thought.
Yeah, because no one's selling.
Yeah, so they're not selling. And even if they were in the dungeon and were gonna sell, you still would have to pay through the nose for players of that ability. So
Brock Nelson never hit free agency.
It's not as easy as it looks. But yes, we all play fantasy football and fantasy hockey, and I make trades all the time. I got 4 people in my league that don't watch, so I just go there and make it happen. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We will get to the starting 5 at the top of the hour, but first, Dennis Cox has some information for you.
I do. Dennis Cox got to let you know here real quick about Loan Pronto because low mortgage rates are back, and Loan Pronto is fixed-rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%, the lowest in years. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time, or you can keep your primary mortgage intact and get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards and some car loans and cut their monthly expenses by $2,000. Call now and see what option works best for you, but don't miss the big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous Rapid Equity Loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks, and you may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with the starting 5 in just a couple minutes.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I absolutely think Seattle has what it takes to go back-to-back. They are going to have turnover at the offensive coordinator position with Clint Kubiak, but we have seen the emergence of Mike McDonald, a defense that is so nasty. We believe in Sam Darnold in a different way. So many great pieces on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, and now they have that championship DNA.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. What a beautiful afternoon with temperatures climbing into the 60s. We do have some changes headed our way. We'll have an increase in the clouds tonight. Temperatures are fairly mild in the low 50s. And then some showers are possible for the first half of the day Wednesday with highs in the low to mid 60s.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell today up 52 points to 50,188.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five here at just a couple minutes past 5 o'clock. And as always, it starts with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's time for the Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy. As it stands right now, Norway was awarded, they earned a bronze medal over the last 45 minutes since we last updated you. They are now in first outright in the total medal count as well as the gold medal count. Norway, 6 gold, 2 silver, 4 bronze, good for 12 overall. Italy is next up in the total medal count. They have 11 total, 2 gold, 2 silver, 7 bronze. Japan was also awarded another bronze, which means in the total medal count, they are in third, 2 gold, 2 silver, 4 bronze, 8 total, which does put the United States out of the top 3 in the total medal count. We have 2 gold, 3 silver, which is one more than Norway, Italy, and Japan. But just 2 bronze pushes us down to 7 total medals, 4th overall.
By the way, we lost the mixed doubles curling gold medal match to Sweden. So we took a silver in that today.
Sweden is right behind us in total medal count as well, tied with Germany in 5th with 6 total medals. Canada, for those of you that are wondering, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th. In total medals with 3, yet to earn a gold. They have 1 silver and 2 bronze.
By the way, in the cross-country skiing, the individual sprint in cross-country skiing, Sweden swept it. Gold, silver, and bronze in the women's individual.
Take that.
And then Norway got gold and bronze in that event. United States got silver in the men's individual sprint cross-country, by the way. So you know, we got that one.
Beautiful.
Norway crushes in the Winter Games, by the way.
Yes.
They just absolutely crush.
I was Adam Gold, when we switched studios, said in the past, I don't think he's doing it this year, but he had been in a Winter Games fantasy league.
Okay.
By the way, that was the Wake Med Winter Games medal count from Italy. Now we're just having a conversation. He was in a Winter Games fantasy league where at the beginning, you went around and drafted countries. And then total medals and everything score was decided. My exact response was, so you just first pick Norway? Like, there it is. Like, Norway, host country, then it gets interesting is kind of where it goes. And that's exactly how it's playing out now, right? Norway first, host country, Italy next, and you go from there. I would probably draft United States in the first round, but that's just because I'm loyal. That's just because I'm, USA all the way. But Norway, if you're trying to win, probably the move. Anything else going on? The men's hockey doesn't start for a while. There's a lot of discussion about lines. Who's going to be skating with who?
Yeah.
What are the matchups going to be when the U.S. and Canada end up facing each other, likely with something drastic on the line? It does seem like they're kind of putting teams together with the idea of that's the team we're going to have to beat. Obviously, there's other teams that are be out there, doing their best, but that's where the men's hockey stands. Women's hockey, U.S. is rolling, but a lot of hockey left to play.
The men's ice hockey gets underway tomorrow. Finland and Slovakia play each other tomorrow, 10:40 a.m. Let's watch Sebastian Aho play.
As alternate captain, Sebastian Aho.
That's right. And then Italy plays Sweden at 3:10. Thursday, United States plays at 3:10. Canada plays Czechia at 10:45.
Should be exciting. What day is that?
That's on Thursday. United States plays Latvia.
Probably starts right about this show, right?
Yeah, 3:10. So trust me, I'm gonna have a goal sounder and everything for you guys. Don't you worry.
So Wednesday we might have to grab like first goal score predictions. We'll see.
Yeah, right at the beginning of the show.
we'll see.
Team USA first goal score predictions. Let's go.
We're gonna have to get them in early because they're scoring on the first shift.
Right.
We can't dilly dally. Either way, a lot of action over there in Italy. That is number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
The Charlotte Hornets.
The Hornets ended their 9-game win streak last night, and if you're gonna end your 9-game win streak, go out in a blaze of glory or a blaze of fury. There's an old school NBA brawl last night between the Detroit Pistons, who by the way are having themselves a season, and the Charlotte Hornets. Detroit Pistons the 1 seed. Sounds weird to say, but they're the 1 seed. Hornets, everybody's kind of golden child right now because they're on this run with all these young players and it's really gelling. Perhaps the beginning of a pretty serious rivalry in the Eastern Conference. Perhaps Cade Cunningham and that squad against LaMelo Ball, Con Knipple and that squad with now some anger. Diabate and what was it, Jalen Duren were the instigators. Then Miles Bridges was involved. All of a sudden, Isaiah Stewart from the Pistons was running off the bench, just looking to get in the mix. Punches thrown, punches landed. 4 ejections. Felt like I was watching a little bit of hockey there, although it's much more chaotic when an NBA team gets involved. This one was Moussa Diabate. I saw Ryan Russillo said this, and it's a good way to put it. He was mad for a longer period of time than usual in these instances. Right? Traditionally in the NBA, someone gets really mad, they start getting physical, punches, pushing, shoving. Somebody grabs you, and then you're kind of like, I'm cool, I'm good, I'm cool. That Moussa was not cool. He was not good. He was still angry. And then, of course, the Hornets went on to lose the game. I don't know why this. I got to let everybody in. Joe, one of our technical guys behind the scenes, does a lot of work with our video. He's a genius. I just looked into the producer's room, and he is walking around standing on the desk, and I don't know what's happening. So I hope our video is still up and running. But now I'm getting the thumbs up.
I wish I could actually turn this camera. It's unfortunately it's locked on me, but I wish I could turn it to Joe, who's standing up here by me.
I'm sitting here trying to talk about a fight, and I'm seeing more chaos in the producer's room than I saw on the Pistons Hornets basketball court. Everything okay in there?
Oh yeah, everything's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, then give us
no punches thrown in here.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Joe's feisty. He might be giving up some reach, but he's feisty. Give us your take on the fight.
I actually like it in the sense of this, is that the Hornets team, even in the loss, and even the way Charles Lee was defending his team late in the game when he got ejected as well, there is a sense of unity. Even in that loss, there's a sense of unity on that team where those guys genuinely, you could tell, care about each other. And the fact that they're willing to throw blows for one another, I actually think it's one of those things that even though you lost, it probably even brought your team together even a little bit more tighter.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm okay with it.
Depending on how aggressive the suspensions are, and who knows, because you don't want to lose momentum from the winning streak either. But there was some real anger there. That was not like, okay, I'm trying to spark, the team, or I'm going to show him you can't push him around. There was legit anger. That's number 4.
I don't know. I'm not going to lie. Diabate
he was angry.
Yeah, he was
seeing red, as they say. And also the Pistons, surprising. I don't know why this is surprising, but they got a lot of dudes that look like they'd be pretty good fight. They got a lot of dudes with some big shoulders, long reach, anger as well. Hornets, beat them on the scoreboard, might be my advice on that one. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Again, it's Chinyelu defending. Help from Klajar. Evans for 3. They left Evans, and he made him pay.
Duke tonight on the road at Pitt. 9 p.m. Opening tip on that one. Jon Scheyer spoke with the media. Obviously, the Pitt game is the Pitt game, but it's also the first after the UNC buzzer-beating loss. It's the first after the court storming. It's the first after the 3 threes allowed to. It's the first after you go 3 possessions scoreless, and it leads to the loss and all of that, which is going to be part of the story for this one. Jon Scheyer spoke to the media, as I mentioned. We have some audio for you. Here he is talking about the team's need to fight even harder than they are for quality looks.
Well, one, I have to help our guys more. We have to play a lot tougher. We have to be stronger with the ball. We have to attack the basket with way more force, and we have to take better shots, and we have to fight for those shots. And I think we've settled for some. We've missed some kicks. We got to continue to play Duke basketball. That's helped us get really good leads in the first half, and we can't settle in the second half. So I think there's a few different factors at play, but I got to help them more.
Interesting, he said second half. He was asked if the team is fighting for better shots in the first half than they are in the second, and this was his response.
Yeah, I think so. But I think the difference in the first half and the second half, teams make adjustments. Fatigue can set in. Like, you can give into that fatigue. You can get a bunch of different things. It's harder to do something for 40 minutes than it is for 20, right? And I think we've had good game plans and, good things we've done. And we got to make sure we're still getting that movement and that force in the second half too.
And finally, just one more piece of audio here for you. Jon Scheyer on the loss to UNC, needing to be a learning experience for his basketball team.
Well, I think it provides an incredible opportunity. You hate losing. You don't rationalize it. You look in the mirror, think about what you could do better as a coach. I asked our guys to do the same exact thing. I know we have a locker room where our guys really care. I saw that in a big way after the game. And saw that yesterday at practice as well. And I think the most important thing is there are things that we can control and do better. And you credit Carolina for what they did in the second half. But for us, we look inwards and know that there's things we can control that we didn't. And that's been our focus of what we have to do to get back to work and how we can have the season that we want to have down the stretch here.
As Dennis said earlier, and I think it's a good way to put it, I think Pitt is going to feel the wrath that they did not earn from Duke. UNC went and got them all angry, and then Pitt's the team that's going to have to wear those bruises, perhaps, right? If they really go physical down low, could be quite literal. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. What number was that, Dennis? I am all over the place. Number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Stevenson gets it into Dixon at the timeline. 8 seconds to go. Dixon, high screen from Wilson. Dixon with 5. Dixon on the drive, kicks it corner. Trimble for the win. Yes! At the buzzer! Trimble does it! Carolina's first lead is the last! They win it 71-68.
UNC is also back on the court for the first time since that buzzer beater win against Duke. They will be taking on Miami. 7 o'clock. It's at Miami. I mean, this is, my coach used to say, a classic way to lose a game is special teams mistake, jumping off sides, pre-snap penalties, turning the ball over. Classic way to lose a game. This is a classic way to have a trap game. You play your rival at home, you win at the buzzer on a dramatic comeback, and everybody is excited and former players are talking trash and you storm the court twice and you do the whole thing. And then on a Tuesday, you go to Miami.
Yeah, you got to hop on a plane, fly.
Obviously, Miami comes with its own distractions, which probably plays more in the NBA than college basketball. But still, you're in Miami. They're not a top 25 team. You don't have the juice that comes with being in your home arena against a rival. And you need to make sure you take care of business. I think it is wildly important they play well in the first 10 minutes of the game. Right? Just get momentum going. Get going downhill. And you have to look towards your leaders. Seth Trimble, I think it's a good time for you, right? Fourth-year player, been through everything, big wins, bad losses, emotional games. You know, Caleb Wilson, I think it's you. You're the emotional leader. That's what everybody keeps telling us, right? You're the one that's always bringing the juice at practice. Be that for your team today. And I'm going to put maybe a lesser thought of third group into that conversation. I think Trimble needs to be a spark. I think Caleb Wilson needs to be a driver of energy. And I'm also looking at Luka Bogovat and Jaren Stevenson. Quiet days versus Duke doesn't mean you can't be the guy, the spark. Doesn't mean you can't hit 2 threes to get everybody going. Sometimes it's like you have a big game and somebody plays well and somebody has an off day, and then the next game it's like, well, I guess that's what we are now. Guess you're the star. It's like, no, actually, that was just my turn, right? The game went my way. I made the plays. This time it might be your turn. So, maybe some of the guys that were a little bit quieter against Duke can be the spark against Miami, and you can do the whole teammate thing where, all right, you get me then, I got you now. You got my back, I got yours. But it is, I think, a low-key, wildly important game for UNC tonight. That's at 7 p.m. In Miami. And that's number 2. Let's get to number 1. I wasn't sure what highlight you were going to go with, or low light. NC State got smoked by Louisville last night, 118-77. I said this earlier. I'm going to stick with it. I don't even know if you watched the film. I think you might try wholeheartedly to flush it. Like sulk for 12 hours, and by the time you're back at the facility today, it is on to the next. Because I don't want to disrespect or disparage the win by Louisville at all. It's a huge win by Louisville. Michael Brown Jr. scored as many points as anyone in Louisville history has scored in a single game. He also broke Cooper Flagg's record from last year for most points scored by a freshman in ACC history. So there's like Conwell, 5 of 6 from 3, 31 points. They played a very good game for Louisville. There were fluke-ish elements of the game where, you start to think of all of the things that had to go in one very specific way for the game to end up like that. NC State, they were going into the game as the best three-point shooting team in the ACC, right? They were shooting almost 40% from 3 as a team. They shot 18% from 3, right? Statistically, the stat heads out there will tell you, like, that's going to happen occasionally. All right, fine. Rare occasion, a really good shooting team shoots 18%. But then there's something like the Michael Brown explosion, where he's a player that went into the game scoring 27% shooting, 27% from 3. He went 10 of 16. That's sometimes I say, like, the worst thing that could happen is like a 27% shooter hitting 2 threes early in the game, because they're going to finish 2 of 11, right? It's like, hey, you're not a good shooter now, but you hit 2, so you think you are. All of a sudden, you're like Philip Seymour Hoffman, and along came Polly. Make it rain. White chocolate. No, instead, Michael Brown Jr., who, by the way, is a stud, talented freshman, but just hadn't been shooting the ball well this year, he hits a couple early, keeps shooting, and finishes with 10 made threes. Statisticians will tell you, ends of the spectrum exist, right? Things will happen. 27% three-point shooters will make 10 of 16 occasionally. But when you pair in like McNeil scoring 0 for State and them shooting 18% overall from three, and this happening for Louisville and that happening for Louisville, the chances, it just seems like it's fluke-ish. And I don't know how much time I spend on let's make sure that fluke doesn't happen again. Right? If let me think of an analogy here. If Tiger Woods in his prime, I'm a golf fan. If Tiger Woods in his prime misses a cut and he goes 0 and greens in regulation, right? Just like off the tee, he's shanking, he's hooking, he's doing everything wrong. I'm not sure if I'm Tiger, I'm going to like rebuild everything by the next week. I'm probably just going to go, you know what? That is crazy. That never happens. I'm not going to make it something bigger than it is. I'm going to show up next week, go through the same routine, try to be better. Just keep it as low-key as possible. Now, if State next game, right, what are they playing on Saturday? If on Saturday they shoot 16% from three and give up 100 again, then okay, yeah, you know what? Some of these things look repeatable. They look sustainable. These are problems that have to be addressed. I'm just not going to, like Michael Brown Jr., 10 threes. You want to know the crazy part about him? I saw this advanced, I don't even know if it's an advanced analytic, this stat online. Only 2 of them were within 26 feet. I believe the three-point line in college is at 23 feet. So this dude was rising from deep. Good. I hate to tell you, but you got to adjust at some point. But there's a lot of coaches that would say 27% three-point shooter, shooting from at least 3 feet beyond the three-point line. That's a shot we want him to take.
Yeah.
And it's almost like if they make a high percentage of those, you tip your cap and say congrats, because that's what you're like. You got to give up some shots. You're not going to prevent them from taking shots. It is truly one of those games that I think you look at and go, yikes. Like you take a longer shower after that game, try to get it all off, right? You don't want that sticking with you at all. And then you get ready for your next game. It's a weird one to explain. We do have some audio here for you from Will Wade. So let's hear it. Let's go with first what went wrong defensively for Will Wade and his Wolfpack.
Everything. I mean, I don't know another word. I mean, we got whipped off the bounce. They beat us every way possible. We got torched. I mean, we gave up 76 points to 2 players. I don't know if I've ever seen that. So, we got torched and they picked at some matchups and we could just never get our footing. We got down 14-4 and could never get our footing in the game. So, just got hammered.
Yeah. Do you know what it was? Oh, I wish I would have thought of this earlier. It's one of my favorite references in sports movie history. It was quicksand. The Replacements, Shane Falco, right? The worse things got, the harder you struggled, the worse it got, the further you sank, until before you know it, you're in over your head. But it only counts as one loss, as you will hear from Will Wade here in his postgame talking about the response his team needs to have.
Unfortunately, I've had this experience before. This happened to me one other time at a previous job. They set the SEC record for threes on us. It was at home. What did they make tonight? 18. The other team, I think Alabama made, over 20 on us. We move forward from that. We're still an NCAA tournament team, won a lot of games, and we've got to find a way to be better on Saturday against Miami. It's not like the season ends tonight. It's one loss. I mean, it's an embarrassing loss. It's a terrible loss. It's poor, but it's one loss. It doesn't count. It's not like you get 3 losses for tonight. We probably should, but you don't. And so we can find a way to move forward. And I think we'll be judged on how we respond and how we move forward from here. And our team's been good with that all year, and hopefully we'll continue to do that.
I kind of like that. We don't get 3 losses for it. We should. How funny would that be? If there was there would have to be a committee. We don't like committees. But if a committee watched games and decided how much each loss was worth, awful ones, that's going to be a 4-losser. You lose at the buzzer to a top 15 ranked team, that's half a loss. Be chaos. committee would be the least popular people on the planet. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need to grab numbers game contestants, but first, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Law Tigers, something that I'm excited about, especially the warm weather that we have today. The sun's actually still out right now, even though it's almost 5:30. I'm excited to get the motorcycle back out. I'm looking forward to getting back out on the bike and riding when the weather is nice and warm and it sustains that way. And something that I want for each of you all out there is to also join me out there on the road at some point. And the best way you could do that is going to caniacsbike.com. That's right, because the Law Tigers are once again teaming up with your Carolina Hurricanes to give one lucky fan a custom Canes Ducati motorcycle, courtesy of Art Moto Garage and Shiny Side Paint. That's right, I'll say it again. A custom Canes Ducati motorcycle, courtesy of Art Moto Garage and Shiny Side Paint. Art Moto Garage, Shiny Side Paint, located right here in the Triangle, right here in Raleigh. But it's that beautiful motorcycle, that V4, that Ducati. It's gorgeous. I went and saw it last week in person. I want it. I want this bike for myself. I can't have it. You can. Swing by Art Motor Garage, see the bike for yourself, or go to caniacsbike.com. You'll see pictures of the bike right there, and you also have the opportunity to enter for your chance to win that motorcycle. caniacsbike.com. Bike will be given away on April 4th at the game, and it includes tickets to a catered suite as well. caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
We need numbers game contestants here on The Drive. The prize for today, same as yesterday, pair of tickets to see Godsmack with Stone Temple Pilots and Dorothy at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on May 16th. If you want to play, if you want to win the tickets, you got to call in now. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game and potentially win a pair of tickets to see Godsmack with Stone Temple Pilots and Dorothy. Numbers game coming up next.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
Breaking news. Multiply the Cash scratch-offs are here and have $1 billion in total prizes. Mike's live on the scene.
The word is out, and with so much cash up for grabs, everyone's getting in on this $1 billion. Grandma?
Out of my way, Mikey. Granny's on a roll.
You heard it here first, folks. Get in on $1 billion of wins with new Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.01 to 4.82. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Car Scott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki Outboards, Thursday, February 12th through Sunday, February 15th. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands. On-site financing to get you approved and on the water. Boats in stock and price to move now. Test drive your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Car Scott Building in Raleigh. Thursday, February 12th through Sunday, February 15th. Featuring Suzuki Outboards.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The prize for today, tickets to see Godsmack with Stone Temple Pilots and Dorothy at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on May 16th. That is May 16th. We have Cameron in Raleigh, and we have David in Willow Springs. They'll be battling it out with numbers game trivia to see who gets the prize. As always, we'll bring them both onto the show, ask them the same question, and we'll see which one Dennis thinks is his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. Cameron. We'll start with Cameron in Raleigh. Cameron, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I sure can.
All right. The question for today is, if you could participate, so we're just dropping you in any Olympic sport, Which one would it be? Which would be the most fun / exciting, whatever, fulfilling for you to participate in the Winter Olympics?
Winter Olympics. Okay. Well, I physically can't do it, so for me, the most exciting would be the speed skating. I would love to do the speed skating. Love to go fast.
Interesting. All right, Dennis, any follow-ups? Nope. No follow-ups?
Any particular distance?
Shortest distance possible.
That's fair. I respect it.
A little short track action. All right.
Yeah.
Cameron is locked in with speed skating. We'll go to David in Willow Springs. David, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, same question to you. If we could drop you into any competition in the Winter Olympics, which one would be most fun, most fulfilling for you?
Downhill bobsled.
All right. I want to see uphill bobsled. Dennis, any follow-up questions?
2-person bobsled, 4-person bobsled?
Either solo or 2-person.
Oh, okay.
All right. All right. So the answers for Cameron and David were speed skating as short as possible, and David in Willow Springs said bobsled 2-person.
Okay.
Which one?
Or
are you
solo,
rolling?
or one or
solo.
the other.
Yeah.
The correct answer we were looking for is the biathlon. That is the correct answer we were looking for, which, by the way, is on my television right now.
Looks so tiring.
I know it is, but my goodness, it's amazing. This is a tough one. The short distance speed skating.
Short track is like demo derby. You're rubbing elbows.
Yeah, and they get to speeds like over 30 miles an hour on skates, which is amazing. But the bobsledding is insane. So I'm going to go bobsledding on this one.
All right. And if you're in a 2-person sled for bobsled, you're doing something.
Oh, yeah.
You can't be those middle guys that just push, jump in, and then you're just along for the ride. Like, you're either steering or brakes. You're doing something.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'll go the 2-person
cool
bobsled
runnings
on this one. And obviously solo bobsled, which is basically just the luge. That in and of itself is near insanity.
All right. So,
and I respect it.
So you're going with bobsled?
I'll go with bobsled.
All right, so
go David and Willow Spring.
David gets to go first. Cameron, don't worry, you'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold for a little bit. David, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes.
All right, the categories are NFL players, Panthers throughout history, NFL players, Seahawks throughout history, NBA players with no jersey numbers lower than 30, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
NFL Seahawks.
Okay. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock, 1 pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though you know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with other categories. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Russell Wilson, Seattle Seahawks.
3.
Correct. Zach Charbonnet, Seattle Seahawks.
30.
Incorrect. Golden Tate, Seattle Seahawks.
11.
Incorrect. Zach Charbonnet, Seattle Seahawks.
20.
Incorrect. Golden Tate, Seattle Seahawks.
Pass.
Ricky Waters, Seattle Seahawks.
32.
Correct. Matt Hasselbeck, Seattle Seahawks.
8.
Correct. Zach Charbonnet, Seattle Seahawks.
29.
Incorrect. Golden Tate, Seattle Seahawks.
18.
Ooh, needed to flip him. 81 for Golden Tate is what we were looking for. But that was a great use of the pass because you were stuck on Charbonnet and Golden Tate. You passed it, ended up getting Waters and Hasselbeck. So 3 is the number to beat, which is a solid showing. That's good strategy there. And that's Charbonnet 26. I don't know if I said that yet. Charbonnet 26 is what we were looking for. So David, stay on hold. We'll see if 3 holds up. That means Cameron is up next. Cameron, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players, Panthers throughout history, NBA players, no jerseys lower than number 30, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Let's do NHL Hurricanes.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. I will give you the team in this category. Same thing, just to keep it fair timing-wise with other categories. You need at least 4 for the win. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. If you have no questions, your time will start when you hear the horn. William Carey, Carolina Hurricanes.
28.
Correct. Eric Robinson, Carolina Hurricanes.
50.
Correct. Zach Boychuk, Carolina Hurricanes.
23.
Correct. Andre Cachet, Carolina Hurricanes.
46.
Incorrect. Drew Shore, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Andre Cachet, Carolina Hurricanes.
42.
Incorrect. Drew Shore, Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Incorrect. Andre Cachet, Carolina Hurricanes.
47.
Incorrect. 3 is what you ended up with. Unfortunately for you, a tie goes to whoever goes first. So it's not enough for the win, but you started off on fire. I thought you were on the way to something there. Hopefully you had some fun.
Had a great time. I appreciate it, gentlemen.
All right. You can try again. Well, hopefully we'll have you back. For those of you playing at home, again, it was Carrier 28, Robinson 50. Boychuk, we would have accepted 11, 18, 22, 23, and 32. Guy was he was just shopping in the equipment room.
He might follow you on Twitter, just to let you know. He follows like a lot of people.
All right.
But go on.
Go and check it out. Cachet 73 and Shore 29 were the numbers we were looking for. But again, the tie goes to whoever goes first. That means David in Willow Spring is the winner.
Thank you very much.
You get the Godsmack tickets to go along with Stone Temple Pilots and Dorothy at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on May 16th. Congratulations on the win. Go ahead and stand in the line, and Dennis he'll grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
By the way, Andre Kasha, one game in a Canes uniform.
One? That's
one game.
Wow. And the caller felt like he knew it. Like it seemed like he knew it. One, that's very few. We had Picard the other day, who was like 8 or 9. So we've won up to that even. One game. That's crazy. Your microphone is not on, Dennis.
Oh, yeah. So there he is. So Andre Kasha signed with the team 2022 offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Just a one-year deal. He had dealt with concussion symptoms and stuff like that, and then took a hit in the very first game of the year. Played 11 minutes, but was feeling some symptoms, and this was like right when they went out west. They sent him back home. The only game he played in the Canes uniform was just that one.
Tough break.
Yeah, he's been playing overseas and stuff, if I remember correctly, in recent years, but he's from the Czech Republic.
Tough break.
Or Czechia, I should say now. But anyway, just one game. So if you would have got the Andre Kasha, like, you know what? You deserve a win.
Do you know what's actually, it happens more often than you think, at least for like in me judging as I read these, where people get one and I go, oh, they're going to get all 5. If you're getting that, goodness gracious. And then they stumble on like ones that I'm like, oh, that's easy. You should know that for sure. But I think memories are funny, man. You never really know what you're going to get. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Manor Service Company. Memories are funny. So if you're going to forget something, forget your old locker combination, forget the lyrics to the song that you danced to at your junior prom, and instead remember what I'm about to tell you. If you have problems with your heating system, cooling system, plumbing, or electrical, call Manor Service Company. And if you do forget, you're going to be reminded because you see Manor Service Company everywhere. You'll see their trucks out and about in your community. You'll see them at philanthropic events in the community. They are locally owned, and they are a part of our community, which means they need to do well, right? They need to provide you with quality service because they're going to want you to tell your neighbors. They're going to want you to tell your family down the street. They're going to want you to tell everybody because they are entrenched in our community here in the Triangle. They serve the entire of Wake County, the entirety of Wake County, and 50 miles from Wake County in any direction. 365 days a year, 7 days a week, obviously, 24 hours a day, heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. Again, you can forget that locker combination from middle school and remember this phone number that I'm about to tell you, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993, or visit them online at manorservices.com, MAYNOR services.com. When we come back, Tom Dundon, the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes, well, they're worried about him out in the Pacific Northwest. I'll tell you why coming up next.
The world's best athletes in Italy are going for the gold, and 99.9 The Fan will help you follow them for all 16 days of the Winter Games through February 22nd. Listen for all the action from across the Atlantic. Check in often for event finals from Italy and the updated medal count as the USA takes on the world. Updates from the Winter Games on 99.9 The Fan are presented by Wake Med.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone.
America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge, and Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
I'm very honored by this award, and I always just try to work really hard in school and soccer, and it's nice to be recognized with something this special.
The Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month from 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union. To nominate your athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
It is Heart Health Month, and I'm here with Bethany Usowitz. She is from WakeMed Cardiac Rehab, where she is an exercise physiologist. She's here to answer some questions for us, like what is cardiac rehab and what does it all entail?
Yeah, big question, cardiac rehab. It's rehabilitation. So typically post-cardiac event or post-surgery, people are going to come and learn how to exercise, how to return to their day-to-day lives. But how do we also educate on lifestyle changes so we can be preventative in the future? Dietitians, stress counselors, nurses, and exercise physiologists all work together to get your heart back healthy.
When you say cardiac event, what does that mean?
So a heart attack is typically a heart event that we're looking at, but also post-cardiac surgery. So someone doesn't have to have a heart attack to participate in cardiac rehab.
For those questions and many more answers like it, please learn more at WakeMed Cardiac Rehab and visit wakemed.org. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right, so Tom Dundon owns the Carolina Hurricanes. He is, by the way, him taking over as owner also kind of coincides with the Canes getting a lot better. So
directly coincides.
Like the timeline is pretty lined up.
Yep.
And I want to be clear on this. I'm not saying Tom Dundon is like down there, working with the power play. But what he did was he hired some people that knew what they were doing, and he empowered them. And Rod Brindamore was amongst them. And he has steadily worked with the leadership to put together a pretty consistently good product. And I think sometimes how good the Canes are year in and year out gets taken for granted. So flowers where they're due. Recently, he and a group that he partnered with, but he is the main, purchased the Portland Trailblazers. So
not yet finalized, but they won the bid.
Yeah, and the agreements are all in place. The news broke, decent amount of time ago now, a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was back in just before the hockey season started.
Okay, so yeah, there's some time now that it's settled in. And there was an article that Paul Ihander actually passed to us, our program director and the host of Next Up with Paul Ihander, weekday mornings, 9 to 10, right here on 99.9 The Fan. It is from OregonLive.com. It is written by Bill Oram. Basically, and I read the entirety of the article, Dennis, I know you did as well. It is a big version of I'll break it down as quickly as I can. Don't shoot the messenger, but I think Tom Dundon wants to move the Blazers. I hope I'm wrong, but I think the Blazers might be on the move. Just a lot of that, right? Am I missing anything as far as the vibe of the article?
No.
Perfect. Now, it's interesting because here in the Triangle, I don't want to say we know Tom Dundon, right? Because it's not like, we're golfing on the weekends together. But we're aware with how he moves and acts, right? We know the reputation. We know some of the hardball he plays in negotiations, even with, it appears from the outside, hardball negotiations with guys like Rod Brindamore, with some people that I think most of us would go, no brainer, re-sign. It just takes a little bit longer than you want because, he's going to play out the string. He's a hard-nosed businessman. The Pacific Northwest, the state of Oregon and the city of Portland, they don't know Tom Dundon, right? They're unaware of how he moves or how it appears he moves to us in the public. So right now there is a big debate happening. And it has to do with, you'll never guess it. If you pay attention to professional sports, you absolutely will guess it. New arenas. It's almost as if owning a professional sports team is really just a conduit towards the owner being able to own a gigantic arena in a major metropolitan area, and then print money using it, right? It's almost like if you look at the I don't know, richest owners, they all not only own the team, which the value goes up and up and up, but they also own the arena and they print money there. And then it becomes a real estate play, right? They own all the real estate around the arena, and all of a sudden there's restaurants that have to pay you rent, and there's entertainment venues that have to pay you lease, and all of these things kind of all jumbled together until you're just, not only beloved by the community because you have a winner, but also you are stacking cash. I think it's pretty obvious Tom Dundon would want by the way, you can agree or disagree with the fact that this happens, but it does. A taxpayer-funded but owned by the owner new arena. And it appears as if that's what he's trying to negotiate in some form or fashion, at least a good amount of the chunk paid for by the state of Oregon or the city of Portland and on, for a new arena that then he could own, and it would boost the value of the franchise and boost his individual net worth significantly.
Or you have a long-term lease. Like he has a 20-year lease with the Lenovo Center, but he's also in charge of everything that happens in that area.
And profits from all the entertainment venues and all that sort of thing. He is going to negotiate hard. And what leverage does a owner have? I will leave. Because the NBA, just like the NHL, just like the NFL, just like every professional sports franchise or league, there's a limited number of teams. And there are more cities that want teams than there are teams. So you can always say we want to leave. And Nashville and Vancouver and Vegas and name your team will be sitting there going, we'll pay you, we'll give you the arena. Come here, please. We want an NBA team. Seattle. Wouldn't even have to move that far. All of those options are sitting there. So yeah, I have no doubt in my mind, without any insider knowledge and without any 100% guarantee, I have no doubt in my mind that Tom Dundon would use the threat to leave if that means it'll get him what he wants in negotiations for how to fund the arena, even if his main goal is to stay in Portland. Even if he does not want to leave, even if he does not want to do that to Portland. I believe the leverage that he could gain from making it seem that way is something he would do. And by the way, I think most billionaires, of which he is one, are pretty good business people. Right, I'm not saying all, right? You might have just gotten lucky and developed some app or something. Maybe you're a Kardashian and you made some makeup. I don't know. But I think for the most part, if you're a billionaire, you're aware of what you have going on. And you're going to use the leverage at your disposal. So basically what I'm saying is there's a difference between threatening to leave and leaving. And I know you have to treat threats as if they're legit, unless you're going to fully call the bluff. I wouldn't worry too much yet, right? I wouldn't worry too much yet if I'm Portland. I would imagine they'll get it done. It's just going to take a little bit more money from some public fund that can help Tom Dundon get whatever he wants when it comes to the arena.
And I think just talking to people that the arena there in Portland where the Blazers play is about 30-year-old arena.
Yeah.
It needs upgrades.
Yeah, it's tired.
It needs it. So if I am Dundon, I go and say, hey, look, this arena needs a facelift. If you guys want to have continued games here, events here, if you guys want to be attractive for, like, for example, you want a regional for the NCAA tournament, whatever it might be, you got to do more to build not only up the arena, but the areas around it. There's a reason why you are seeing, for example, the Carolina Hurricanes, you're got the 20-year agreement, which includes renovations and the entertainment district going around it. But even go, for example, just go right down the road to Wilson, the Warbirds, which used to be the old Carolina Mudcats, moving over there. They're building a minor league stadium, but a little entertainment district around it as well because of the tax revenue that the area generates, because you're able to sustain business and all those kinds of things. That is the purpose of having these sports teams and leagues, is because in the long term, you generate that tax revenue. That is the whole purpose of it. If you want hotels to be filled, have events next to or at the arenas that are next to these hotels. Like, that's where you also profit from it as well from a local business standpoint.
Yep, I'm with all that, and I think they'll still be in Portland. Also, have you ever spent any time in Portland?
I actually have not.
I went out there for a wedding, so I've only spent 3 days there.
Mm-hmm.
They love the Blazers.
Oh, it's their thing.
This they love. At the time, Damian Lillard hadn't even left before he returned. When I tell you Dame Lillard did celebrity, like on every window there was a schedule poster with Dame Lillard's face. There was a giant mural or I don't know, poster across an entire building of him with his arms outstretched. Like, taking the Blazers from that team from that city, I don't think the city will allow it. And that's probably what Tom Dundon knows. Like, y'all aren't going to let this leave, so I can ask for a little bit more, a little bit more. And again, that's leverage. That's called leverage in the business world, and he's going to use it.
I know that in the one of the articles on the Oregonian that you had mentioned, the Oregon Live, was about just the history of Dundon in terms of what his negotiations with the Carolina Hurricanes. And Philip Isley of the Centennial Authority was quoted in that article, and he said one thing that he respected a lot about Tom Dundon was that he was honest, he didn't lie, and he felt like he was fair. Like, that's the thing, though, is that he was honest from the get-go. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I want. And he didn't all of a sudden try and just swerve you at the last second like you see sometimes in business negotiations. It was, here's what I want. This is what I want. He was a hard negotiator, but a fair one, but an honest one as well. And I think it's exactly what Portland's going to get as well.
Yep, and being a good and honest negotiator doesn't mean you're not doing everything you can to get what you want.
Oh, he wants to win.
Yeah, like there's some cutthroat nature there. And by the way, like, I would tell Portland, it might play out the entire string, but there's a good chance your team's going to win, and it makes it a lot more fun, and it does bring in a ton of money. Like, it absolutely does. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Please subscribe to our YouTube. I haven't been saying that enough. Please download our app. I haven't been saying that enough. 99.9 The Fan in both places. Matter of fact, a lot of times when people are giving out phone numbers and stuff, I'm like, if you just Google the name, it works. If you search 99.9 The Fan on pretty much any social media, YouTube, App Store, whatever it is, there's a really good chance you're going to end up right on the doorstep of the content that we create. So rather than remembering a whole bunch of stuff, just remember 99.9 The Fan and go looking, and it won't be hard to find. We work really hard to make our content not hard to find.
That's why the app has all of it.
It does.
Access to the socials, YouTube, podcast, the whole bit.
Win stuff.
Yes,
we're constantly giving stuff away on there. So please download the app, Google Play, App Store, 5-star rating if possible. We would love it. Positive reviews, all that stuff. Follow us on social media, YouTube. It'll be worth your while. We like I said, we work really hard putting out that content, and we just want you to have the opportunity to enjoy it and then tell your friends and subscribe and everything else. We do have Overdrive coming up next, and we're going to start off talking about NC State getting absolutely mollywopped by Louisville, and I argue why they should just flush it and move on. They still have all of their goals ahead of them when it comes to ACC, NCAA tournament, and everything else. It's just one loss. Although it was a bad one, and Louisville scored 1 billion points. That's coming up next to start Overdrive. We'll be back tomorrow for the next edition of The Drive. Until then, subscribe to YouTube, download the app, all social medias, and have a great night, everybody.
The Adam Gold Show.
I know a lot of you probably jumped off the bandwagon, and I hope you didn't hurt yourself in the process, because I told you State would eventually be good. I said at the beginning of the season, if you told me that NC State won the ACC tournament, I would not be surprised. I always thought they would be in the mix to finish in the top 4 and get the double bye, and they are finally starting to figure it out. It's not perfect yet, but it has certainly been a whole lot better the last few weeks, and I think it will continue to trend upward for Will Wade.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Get as loud as you can for Monster Jam!
The one and only Monster Jam. Packed with stunts, smiles, and jaw-dropping skills. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. Like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Sparkle Smash, and more. Only